Good morning, traders. Who's ready to get back at it? You guys know where you're at. It's Trade the Pool, ready to see what we can come up with this week. And I will tell you guys, starting the day off, probably not on the best foot. I'm caught right now in a penny stock. We'll talk a little bit about that one as I am in the red on this one. Probably going to take a max a downsize hit at least for the trade. And I've been pushing it here this morning. I got caught kind of focusing in on different things in the market. Was looking at some news. By the time I looked back, I was down a decent amount. Right now, getting the pressure on me. We'll talk a little bit about that, but let's take a quick look here. I do want to kind of show you guys it as I am going to probably take the hit here. So let me just show you guys this here really quickly here as I am getting the down hit right now. And I'm probably like a penny away from just getting out of this position. But that's the way it goes sometimes, team. We can't always get it right. But today is going to be one of those days where I started off a little bit in the hurt. Let's go ahead. I'll show you guys that right quickly here. Let me go to my camera here. I'll throw this up right here. Let's go this way. Boom. All right, guys, so you guys can see it right now. I'm down big in drama, and I think it's giving me the drama. That's the way I call this ticker, DRMA, Demerta Therapeutics, looking to see if it's going to start working its way back to the 280s, $3. But right now, it's putting the pressure on me through the 230s. If it breaks that 230s, I really should have already gotten out at that 230 break, but hey, it's right there. We'll see if it starts to turn around, guys. I'm going to try to pay attention to it as I start doing some of the stocks right now. But if it goes back down to that level, I'm just caught on this one, guys. So I know when I didn't play one right, and today starting it off actually on the wrong foot. But hey, that's how it is, guys. You're not always going to have it perfect. And one thing's for certain, I'm going to always tell you guys the transparency in this, right? A lot of traders would probably hide from this loss, but I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to show you guys it, and we'll battle back. I definitely have made it back. Last Monday, I remember I was down a similar amount and then eventually bounced back to being up 600. So not going to stress it too much. Just got to focus in and get back to what we know best. But let's get to today's playbook and take a look at what we got to trade today. All right, traders, let's go ahead. Let's take a look into the playbook. First one up, we're going to talk about Boeing as I'm short swing on the Boeing. So going to be taking a look to see if I can make some, big gains on this position as I'm already in on it. But I got this one during the end of Friday action, right? So let's go to it. Let's take a look here at Boeing and where it's at. Boeing right now is at 157.18. So I was shorting this yesterday on Friday's pop, and I got it really near the top. So near that kind of 162, 163 range. So at this point, I'm way in the green and looking for Boeing to keep coming down. If you take a look, there's this big long trend line that I think we're going to approach, and that's all the way back from the time of the 2020 period. And so we can actually approach that. That's going to be going down towards 150. And that's the level that I could see me taking some profits on, right? If I could get down to 150, I'm up big in this position. I'm up almost 300 right now. And so I'm going to continue trying to knock this Boeing down. We'll see what happens. This is all about the prolonged strike. And just to mention, an average strike for Boeing lasts about 50 days. That's not looking good for Boeing this year. All right, let's get to the next one. XLP. Let's take a look here. And of course, this is into the consumer staples. We were looking at these pulling back last week, and now they're continuing to the upside. So continue to watch that action. We'll see what happens here as we see XLP pushing right back up. And where has been the buying spots? The buying spots have been on that 9 EMA. Even on Wednesday, we went down to the 82. Really nice buying level as you're right back to the 84s. This isn't the sexiest play, but I can tell you guys, there's some profits to be had. And a lot of this pulls back to the hourly. Like, take a look at the action from just 2 weeks ago, right? We were just kind of sideways action on this and going up and down from the bottom of the hourly to the top of the hourly, the bottom of the hourly to the top of the hourly. Just recently, we went up, back to the bottom of the hourly, up, back to the bottom of the hourly. Now you've started to make a trend back to the upside. So I'd be looking for pullbacks back towards hourly support. Maybe 83.70s or 83.50s come into play today. Let's get to the third one here on the playbook. We'll talk a little bit about XLU, and this is one that I should have held on the swing trade. I made a great gain on this one. Don't get me wrong. I still made a nice profit on this deal, but the truth is I should have held on, as XLU is now at 78. And if you guys don't remember, I was buying this back at 73.50s back in this period, right? Off of this kind of flagging pattern here. So there you guys see it. It's gone pretty high since then, right? I mean, that's not bad. 6% just continue to stair step higher. Where are the buying areas for the XLU? Well, it's been off the 9 EMA multiple times lately, right? Just last week on Wednesday, we cut through the 9 EMA, 76.50s, go to 76.15s, and quick recover back through 77. So now could look for some pullbacks back towards the 9 EMA, somewhere around this 77.50 level seems to make sense. And of course, you guys can trade some of the smaller names, right? The actual stocks. You can look at Duke as one of those stocks that have continued the trend, right? And we were looking at Duke when it started to break the 100. It's at 118. These are not bad stocks, guys. They're actually, what I find them is they're consistent, right? And they stay on the trend. Of course, if it breaks at 50 EMA, the yellow line, that's where I'd start to run. But right now, you're still looking good here, and you're holding that 9 EMA, holding the momentum here in the XLU. We'll see what happens on this trade. All right, guys, that's going to do it for the playbook today. Like always, guys, we give you guys the playbook to give you guys some perspective and learn into different variables. And I think this is very important for traders overall to do. Always take a look at what playbook you have out there, what industries, sectors are hot. Maybe you can backhack it. That's what I like to do, right? Is look at the sectors and industries and find what's moving, and then find the stock that's moving in that sector and in that industry. That's one advantage that I can definitely give you guys this morning. So smash the like, hit those thumbs up. Now we'll go over to the sunrise report, small one today. I'm actually not even going to go through the graphics because it's just a little bit out there. And what does this tell me is that right now the market is just on wait and see mode to see what happens with the interest rates and this kind of like question period where we're now going to get, like, of course, Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday we'll hear what happens. But right now we're going to be looking to see, okay, well, there's pretty much nothing going on in these next 2 days. So I think with that being said, we could get some downside pressure coming right back into the market. That's just how it is, guys. On Friday, it was looking like a boost. Now it's looking like we could have a little bit of a pullback. Let's get to the sunrise and see what was going on in Apple. All right, we'll take a look. All right, team, let's go ahead. Let's take a look at what's going on out there. And what happened to my image there? Oh, I know what it could. There it is. Boom. Voila. All right, let's keep going, guys. Let's take a look at what's going on right now. The first one up, of course, we'll be looking at interest rates this week. That's the focus. And that'll be a meeting that starts on Tuesday, but really Wednesday is where things will be hot as we take a look to see what happens in the interest rate cuts. Will we get 25 basis points? Will we get 50? Or will we get nothing? Nothing, I don't think so. I think we get 25 basis points, and I think that's a given. But has the market already priced this in? I feel the answer is yes. So at this point, we need what's going to happen after that. So a big part of this will be looking at Jerome Powell's speech on Wednesday to see what he says about continued rate cuts, right? And what's the outlook going forward? There's something called the dot plot. And if you don't know what the dot plot is, go into the CME Fed, right? Start taking a look at understanding that, because this is what's going to be affecting the stocks on Wednesday. All right, let's get to the action. Let's take a look around. Of course, there is news in Apple as they're softening iPhone demand, as iPhone was, of course, coming out last week, and we're going to take a look to see what's going on there. Apple was coming down in the pre-market, and you guys can see it. It's a quick little decline back towards the 217s. So we'll see what happens, right? Early shipping data showed solid demand for the base iPhone, but slower start for the Pro models. And I do think this is going to be something that you continuously see, because the Pro models, of course, are the more expensive ones. And right now, the consumer is pretty strapped. Even though everyone's telling you that the economy is strong, the truth is the consumer is strapped. And we need to continue to see what happens there. We'll see what happens also in an upgrade on a stock that I've been watching for a while. BLDR. builder's first source, and it's been doing pretty well, guys. We've been looking at this for a while since it kind of broke out of this trend line, and that we created this on July 12th. And the big part of it is what I was seeing was building materials stocks made sense because I'm expecting to see a continued boom in house building, right? We've talked about that. And as interest rates come down, it actually increases the probability to see more supply come to the market. And then we'll find out if we have a demand issue. Right now, there is no demand issue. People want houses. They're just too expensive and the interest rates are too high. But now we're cutting that interest rates. So even though they're expensive houses, the demand is still there. So the price is not so much of an issue anymore. It's more the interest rates. But now as interest rates come down, that's going to come off, giving the demand to come back. Plus, of course, building supplies and materials needed, right? So CAR is another one that I can give you guys, that BLDR that we've been talking about here. CARR, Carrier Global Group, right? You need some ACs in these new houses, right? That's just the truth. If I build 1,000 houses, guess what? I need 1,000 ACs to put in these houses. So I would continue to watch this area as a way to continue to look into the lift. And just to give you guys insight, their Zillow Group also coming out with good information that now mortgages and I want to get the exact number right here, guys, before I tell you guys something. And then I have it here, so I just want to make sure. So let me go ahead and pull up Benzinga Pro here. I just want to make sure that I give you guys the exact number that's right. But like always, it's very important to take a look at information like this. And I think this was very important. I caught it this morning in Zillow's news. And you always want to be kind of catching these kind of little comments, right? These little comments can really help you find different edge in the market. So Zillow Group this morning put out a comment saying that I'm going to get the exact amount here. In 22 of the 50 largest U.S. metros, mortgages payments are falling lower than rent. That is very important to notice. What is that telling us? That's telling us that the stickiness of rent inflation could start to see a hit, thus bringing CPI lower, thus giving of course, the Fed more credibility and more ability to cut rates. We'll see what happens there, guys. Keep your eyes on these stocks. I've talked about how Zillow could keep going. And with that being said, Open in play. I've talked about this one from $2. It came back to $2, and now it's back above $2.27. This could keep going. Redfin, that was hot as hell, pulled back. Look at the strength in that. There's still strong moves going on in the house builders that we're not paying attention to. Look at Toll Brothers, right? Look at the action that you're seeing in the residential construction space. So continue to watch that. Residential construction really strong here. And one of my most important thing to do is to give you guys insights, not necessarily always on sectors, but sometimes the industries. And this industry is hot, and you can look at different plays here to go ahead and get an advantage. All right, guys, smash the like if you guys enjoyed that conversation. Time to catch up with you guys in the chat. What's going on out there, traders? Guess what time it is? It's time to start the live trading action. I'm starting to bounce back a little bit in DRMA. We'll see if we even get a real bounce back. Right now, I would say it's nothing. And I missed one that did jump like a couple of bucks, now starting to come back down. That's NCNA. Let's go talking about the trading action and get to the live action right now. You guys know where you're at. It's Trade the Pool Live. Let's get it started. Hugo wants 200, baby. You ready to get back to the trading action?
You aim, you shoot, and make money.
It's going to be a great day. You guys know where you're at. What's going on, traders? How we doing? Who's ready to get back after it? I'll tell you one thing. I ain't going to let this little loss here or potential loss kind of shake me on the week. We're ready to get after it. Laura, it's good to see you in the chat. New trader here. Hey, definitely good to have you. Let me know If you have a stock you want to take a look at today, like always, I love to see new traders out there. If you're new out there, say hello in the chat. And like always, guys, hit the like, hit the share button. We need some more traders in here. And one of the number one ways to do that is, of course, do us a favor, hit the share button down below. Let everybody know this is the place to be. All right, guys, let's get to the trading action. Let's take a look what else is going on out there right now. Of course, I'm in this DRMA. I'll continue to watch it to see if it makes a little bounce back. I'm looking for a little bounce back on the 15-minute chart. If I can, nice Harmy candle here. If I could get it back in the 250s, 255, 260s, maybe I can add as I get back through my level. I'm all the way up there to 282, so I need to see a big breakout for me to be able to add towards the open. But maybe we get back to VWAP, we start to get that look, and then I can risk off the 270s. We'll see what happens there. DRMA. Let's get to some other action out there. NCNA is another one that was making a big move. Now has pulled back, guys. So a cup and handle available to you guys here on this one. Near the $6 spot is what I like on this NCNA, but we'll see if it's able to get back there. 580 as a support there is a good level to maybe risk off of. We'll see what happens with this NCNA if it's able to get back up there. And of course, this one was in the after hours all the way up to 979. These biotechs have been making big pops as of lately. All right, guys, if I get to the point where I'm under $100, I might just go ahead and downsize and risk, because the truth is that this is too much risk for me. I'm really trying to keep the losses underneath that 150. And right now, this loss got closer towards 200, which is okay too. It's between 150 and 200 is really what I give myself. But of course, I try to keep them on the lower end of that range than the top end of that range, right? All right, we'll see what else is going on in the market. I did see a decline early on in the market, and then we got a pullback. Now we're seeing what will happen in the SPY. I saw NVIDIA coming down fast with that Apple move. I know that a lot of people were saying the market was down because of Apple, and it was, but NVIDIA leaking also. So I'm keeping a really close eye. And Tesla back down between 229s. This morning, it was making a move back towards 232s. So you got to be careful with Tesla here. I think it's going back and forth, and I think that we might get a little bit of a daily decline and then eventually a rip back to the upside. So just be careful out there, guys. We're right off of the gap zone, but it keeps like defending in that area and not wanting to break out through the 232. So if there's a breakout level, yeah, above 232, going to like 233, that'd be a nice area to look for on Tesla. But now I'm seeing that there's a potential pullback here coming back towards the 225s and then looking for a reload. That's what I'll be watching for today. We're at the 229s. Can we come back through the 225s, 224s, and then work our way right back up there? We'll see what happens in Tesla. Keep your eyes on different stocks today. They're going to be moving, right? We saw Oracle so strong, put out an insane guidance, guys. They put out a guidance that was a couple years out, and yeah, the market just stuffed them. And that was on that Friday, right? It was up at 173.94. By the time the open came, and by the time it was already 10 a.m., it was already back down towards 165. So that just goes to show you guys, yeah, Oracle, you can push all you want. You can put out guidance all you want. The truth is, you're not going to fool all the investors. And I feel like investors were like, what? Guidance 4 years out? You don't know what's going to happen 4 years out, man. If I knew what was going to happen 4 years out, man, we would all be rich because I'd share the money because I'd be making so much. That's the truth. But no one knows what's going to happen 4 years out. Stay away from the dragon that is Tesla. Yeah, SpaceX dragon. That's what I call it. It's a Tesla dragon, but still, to me, it's that SpaceX dragon. And got to be careful with that bad boy. How are the Twins? Twins are doing good, man. They're getting bigger every day, getting closer to that crawling stage. It's going to be funny, but yeah, they're getting there, man, growing strong. All right, just like we are growing strong here, guys. So smash the like. Let's keep it going. You guys know where you're at. It's Trade the Pool. Let's go, team. All right, guys, ready to keep going. Get after it today, guys. There's one thing for certain. I'm going to continue sizing up. I feel like, we've gotten to the point where, yes, I have a nice cushion on the account overall. And that's one thing that we need to be talking about, right? Because the truth is, I need to go and take some swings, right? That's the only way to make it in this life. And in the evaluations, that's the only way we're going to get to the profit target, right? And of course, I got a little bit of a bigger account, so I got to make my way back, right? And so right now, guys, I am opening the week at like about $1,000, right? And so I need to keep working it, right? I need to get all the way up there. Of course, I have the max drawdown of $3,900 to play with. So essentially, I got $4,900 of risk in this evaluation right now. And I'm going to put it to the test, right? Because the truth is, that's what these are, these evaluations, right? So we have to take shots. So I think this week is going to be really important to do what? Keep the risk and reward in mind, right? Start slower. But once we start to really get a nice day or a nice trade where it's looking like it's working, we need to step up to the plate because we need to expand the winnings. We've pushed it last week. We were making a couple of $600 trades and about $200 risk. I need to push it, maybe even towards, let's say, $250 on the risk side, and maybe we go towards $700 or $800 on the plus side of things. This is a harder thing to do, of course, as you keep sizing and scaling. That's the number one thing that I think really determines if you're going to get to that thriving stage, right? Now I'm profitable. I can make money, and if I keep it small, I can keep going, but that's not going to be enough to get to the target profit, right? I need to make some bigger gains, right? So now at this point, you need to expand, scale out, stay small early, and then step up to the plate. So if you guys see me pressing the gas pedal today, you guys know what it's all about. A big part of this will be fighting this DRMA, right? Because if I could just get back to, let's say, small green and put myself in a nice little cushion spot, that's going to give me more and more. What I'm trying to do is build a cushion on the day, give myself $200, $300, and then put that to use. Put that $300 in profits as a risk to see if I can potentially get a nice $900 trade, right? $1,000 trade. Let's see if we can do it today, guys. Let's get after it. All right, let's keep going. We'll see what else is out there. Let's go, team. What are you guys taking a look at this morning? If you guys see a name you guys want to talk about, throw it up out there. We can talk about Palantir and the strength that's been there. You guys remember this was a swing that I was looking at back at $20. So, I mean, this thing's been an absolute rocket. We'll see when Palantir starts to come down. SMMT, I saw some news out there, guys. This thing has been a freaking rocket and a half, guys. It's gone from about, what, like $7? That's the move from down there towards now. It's about 166%. But one thing I do see right now is some topping action, right? So you can see the hourly here. We rejected it to go up there 1, 2, 3, 4 times towards that 33 level. So we could start seeing a decline in SMMT. I'm going to give it a shot here, guys. I'm waiting for really kind of that first big red day, but I think we're close to it. 33.60 is definitely a resistance right now. And it could cut down back towards, let's say, $28 or maybe the 9 EMA, even lower, $24. So you have to give yourself room on this, like maybe about $1 or $2, right? If I take a look at what I like to look at, if I want to know the average of what I should be risking at, I can take a look at the 15-minute or the hourly or the daily. Daily, this stock is moving about $2.83. On an hourly basis, about $1.43. And on the 15, about 70 cents. So I got to risk close to that 70 cents, if not towards that $1 spot, if I want to be able to get this SMMT. You can see in the morning we've had 1, 2, 3 attempts towards that 34 at the bell. I'll look to see if we get an attempt towards 34 and fail. That's what I'll be watching for, a potential short on SMMT. All right, let's keep getting after it, guys. I haven't seen 5K day in years. Laugh out loud. 2K. All right, let's go for a future day trader. We need to make that money, right? That's what it's all about, right? And I want to get to that point where I can take the bigger swings, right? That's the truth. And the key has been consistency, right? Guys, we've been consistent now for 6 weeks here, doing great, right? I would say this last 6 weeks have been really great. And at this point, we got to go ahead and see what we can do. Push our skills. And this is when you usually run into a wall. So don't get me wrong, guys. It doesn't mean that I'm going to be perfect this week. But this is the only way to do it, is you have to step up to the plate, get those fish strong, focus on risk to return, and focus on the habit that got us to this consistency. Starting small and then getting bigger. This morning, even in the day trade of the penny name, DRMA, maybe a little bit too big here. And that's why the 400 shares makes more sense closer towards the 200 in the pre-market. But we'll see what happens towards the bell. What's up out there, Diggs, what's up? What you taking a look at this morning? You're on the Twitch life? Is that the Twitch life? What? We got a Twitch guy. What's going on out there? There's not too many traders on the Twitch life. It's good to see you guys out there. All right, let's go to the action. All right, guys, SMMT already coming down there. Let's go back to that DRMA to see what's going on here, guys. We did get a little bounce there, got all the way up there closer towards 253s, and we're right back down to the 240s. So not feeling too confident about this one towards the bell. It's just going to be one that I just got to continue to watch and see what happens here, guys. This one could cost me, right? But the truth is at this point, I'm invested in the name. Got to continue to watch also the hourly candle. Would love to see this hourly candle go green, and this opened at 248. We got a moment there where it was green to 257, because if that hourly candle could come back towards 293 at the bell, we're looking good there. We'll see what happens there in DRMA. Just got to hang tight for right now. Let's see if it tests down back towards this 233. If it does that, it's going to be the pressure to cut me out. But let's find out, guys. The truth is, at this point, I just got to hang on for the ride. NCNA back towards $6. Didn't go towards the 580s, but got down there towards 617s. Now back at 650s. We'll look to see if we get a lift before the bell here. All right, let's go looking at the swing trade side of things to make myself feel a little better, right? Let's go looking at it, guys. Boeing here, up big, guys. 162.44 is my exact entry. We'll look to see if Boeing can go lower here and start to break down the daily support right underneath it. 156, big level to watch for out the gates. I'll be watching to see if I can make a big win on this, guys. And this is only 50 shares. 50 shares with Boeing and being able to make close to $300 already. I'll look for an expanded win here. And the big reason why I shorted this is that I got an ability to short near the daily resistance as it popped back on Friday. I said, you know what? Let's go off of that daily resistance. I'll risk off the 163, 164 here and see if I can make a good gain. Risk about $2. Okay, look at that, guys. Now we're back down and it's up, what, $6? Close to that, right? And so that's what we want to see. We want to see the continued downside come in. Also, it would be good to see XLI actually turn red, but we'll wait to find out what happens there. XLI has been rising as we've lately gotten a nice little lift in different areas. Of course, the building building materials is helping that. GE with a good raise. Look at that. GE pushing strong. We'll look at Deere to see if this stays strong, but Deere goes through 400, and you guys know how I've been talking about that. That's our signal for cat out the hat. And next thing you know, you're getting these industrials higher. So that's why I'm a little bit careful in Boeing. I need to continue to see that story keeps breaking down. Once I get above, let's say 300, I'll probably end up putting a stop to make sure that I at least take 300. Looking to make $600, maybe potentially $700 on this swing for Boeing. But definitely look at those Deere to give you that signal that you're going into that box. Remember, we drew this box way back, guys. Drew this box on August 20th, right? I mean, we're now what, guys? So September 16th, almost a month ahead of this, looking to see if we were going to make a move into that move. And that's when we were at this level, right? Up here. So now we're starting to make the move higher, of about 13% from that level, and trying to push into the 400. We'll see what happens there. VRAX, monkeypox play. Yeah, I saw VRAX continuing to stay strong. Let's take a look here. VRAX 350s bouncing right there. We'll see if it gets back up there towards the $4 today. Nice little bounce on that first push. $4 tapped it a couple of times, now pulling back on that. So we'll see if we're able to catch a little bit of a pullback, get right back up there. 9 EMA around the 338s. All right, we'll take a look at some other ones. What's another one? VRAX. I think it was, let's go to some of the biotechs. Some of these biotechs have been strong lately in healthcare overall, and want to take a look at some of these. All right, looking at some of the big boys here. Moderna, of course, we saw what happened to them on Friday. They took a major hit back down. A lot of this was based on the COVID and kind of the changes that they're trying to make. But we'll look to see if we get a different action there. Going back to the day trade side of things, just keeping a close eye on that DRMA. Make sure I don't get washed out there. What's another one here? Drug manufacturer name that I was looking at here. There's one that I definitely want to point to. I'm trying to find it here. Amgen still staying strong. Some of these are not looking too bad. I think was it VRAX? No, it isn't VRAX. It was another one. I'll remember in a second, guys. Let's keep things going, guys. You guys know where you're at. It's Trade the Pool. What are you guys looking at this morning? ZNTL. Okay. We'll take a look at that one. ZNTL. ZNTL up towards 457s and has some resistance closer towards 493s and 560s. So that's kind of like the recovery levels. 5 seems like it's in play. You got a nice little spike there. Let's see if they just take it right here through this high, this 464. Then you can go and try to tackle that 484 spot. Maybe test towards the 5. There's the 460s trying to curve on the 9 EMA, just undercut it. Wouldn't want it to go back to that low. Would like it to take the 460s there, but let's see if it takes the 460s. Then attempts this 464s. There's 463 on the offer. Let's see if they take this 464 and go to the next level. Let's see on the level 2 here. 74 seems like a little wall there. So you got room to break the 60s and go to the 74s. And once you go to that level, you start to approach the high of the day in the pre-market. And that already gives it a nice little boost. There's the 470s. 474s comes fast. And then you got a little wall there at the 75s and 76. Let's see if we break through that and go straight to the 80s. You see, he slowed up right there. That was a small little, what we call a micro pullback. So essentially that volume filling in there on the offer, and then it comes back to try to get some of that bid action there and looking for the push. What are the Bollinger Bands you're using? Well, I have the Bollinger Bands right there. They're just standard Bollinger Bands, right? And so you can use them. You can take a look at it here and what they're used to. Standard deviation, 20%. The shading there could bring the shading down or something like that. But I just use this mainly to look at like kind of the top end, the bottom end of the range. And sometimes this will help you just find the bottom end of the range. Also shows you when the momentum's really happening, because when you're just kind of breaking through the top end of it, it just shows you that the momentum is strong, right? Like right now you're on the momentum side of it, right? It's at the top, just tapping the top end of the Bollinger Band. That's one thing to look at when you're seeing these penny stocks really lift off. Like, let's take a look at like NCNA. NCNA, when it started to lift here at kind of the, and I'll make this pretty big so you guys can see it, right? So when you first started to lift here, you can see how it's within the Bollinger Band. Within the Bollinger Band, you're looking for spikes outside of the Bollinger Band. And right here, a spike outside of the Bollinger Band. That's a signal to maybe look for a pullback entry. And then you get pretty much no pullback on this, right? And that just shows you the momentum that comes in here. And then finally, a cut down below that Bollinger Band. And then what do you see? Retracement come in right after that. So it gives you the ability to ride that momentum. And then once you start seeing it go back down, you can tell the momentum's starting to slow down. And you're looking for momentum pushes back towards the top end of that. Of course, 1 minute won't be the kind of the biggest defining factor. I'd be taking a look more at like 5 minutes or even a 15-minute chart. We'll see what happens there. DRMA back towards the 240s. Need to see a big spike on this, but hey, we'll wait and see if we can get that nice little lift. All right, let's keep pushing, guys. Let's take a look at what else is moving out there. I saw SoFi setting up here, guys, so I want to keep a look at that. Just on the daily chart looking like it wants to go through 8. Of course, I'm still taking a look to see what happens in the financials. Will we get another breakdown, right? We talked about the big breakdown last week that we looked at in Goldman Sachs. JPM back down to 205. It's not right back to where it was last week. So that tells me more and more this XLF is giving us an opportunity on this lift. Now the question is, will it just come crashing down? I think we keep watch out the gates. Take a look at like Morgan Stanley. That's a very similar chart to see if it cuts 98 out the gates and starts to break down. Goldman Sachs, same thing. It could recover 485 and 490s, or could reject the 485 spot and come right back through that 481. So definitely levels that I'd keep an eye out for. All right, there's that stock moving now, ZNTL, up there towards the 74s. Let's see if we get there and break through the resistance. Next level, 78. So 78 is going to kind of slow down a little bit. Let's see if we break through that 78. Did we hit it already? 75 right now. Let's see if we go to that 78 and then slow up there towards the 480s. Then I'll look for a pop to the 490s, and we'll see if we go towards 5 on that. All right, not looking too bad. Just keeping an eye on DRMA. There's some resistance into the 250s, so I'll look to see if we can pop through that. Hanging out around the 240s right now. All right, guys, it's 9:06. We still got a little bit here before the bell, so let me know. What do you guys want to take a look at today? And stick around, guys. We got a great week. We'll have multiple guests come on tomorrow. I'm looking to have beginner trading joining us, so looking excited to go ahead and bring my man John back on. He's definitely a great trader out there. If you guys haven't checked out his channel, definitely take a look into it. All right, we'll see what else we can got here. What else can we make some money on this morning? SMMT, how's that doing now? Trying to keep a close eye on this one, guys, as I feel like this one could make a little bit of a pop and then a drop. It did have some news out there. Of course, this one's kind of battling with Merck in their drug game. But right now, I'm just looking for a nice little pop through kind of the 3350s and then eventually this failing later in the day. We'll see what happens. All right, guys, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Let's find some trades out there. Tesla's still declining here. And the Qs overall just kind of lagging a little bit here this morning. I was watching SOXS to maybe make a trade there, and it did make a nice little rise right around 6 a.m. You can see it start to kind of push up. We'll look to see if this can continue riding higher. It's nothing that makes me jump out of my shoes, but we could get a little bit of decline out the gates, and then we're going to see what happens, really. NVIDIA, Apple, those are the names that I'll keep a really close eye on, because if Apple just dumps here, yeah, I'm not feeling too good about the overall market. And right now it looks like Apple is just dumping, and that's going to give us opportunities because the Qs could come down fast and pull back to the 9 EMA. Do I think that this is going down the 460s today? No, but the 9 EMA is definitely in play, and that's a move back to 468. We're at 473s right now. Let's see what happens. And with that being said, we can look at the Vixie, right? The Vixie back up above 12 is an important level. If you look on the daily chart, we're in kind of a flagging pattern. We just undercut on Friday, so that 1180s, it's a big level to watch for a risk spot. And we're at 1211s already. This could rise back towards 13, maybe even a 14 run if we really get a breakdown day. So Vixie on the watch for me. I'll keep it on the radar. I definitely want to watch this, as it could get a spike right out the gate. So Vixie, definitely something to watch here. We'll look to see if we get a spike back to 1216, and then back down below 12 is something I also want to alert for. Let me know if you guys got a level you guys want me to alert on, right? It's not the trade off of, but more just to alert. Hey, this stock is moving through this level. Good morning, Zabby. How we doing? Oracle is just a big pullback, guys. So this is a stock that was really bullish, but now it has pulled back enough that, yeah, it could hang out here for a little while. I'd be looking for sideways action first before this wants to kind of make the next move. I don't think it's just going to go really quickly back to 175. If anything, the support here is in play, the 153. So I could see it pulling back to the 153, giving you an attempt to grab it near that gap. Some people will be playing the gap down play. I'd be looking for that to hold the gap and then start to make its way higher. And that's another thing to look at, right? Can it come back to these levels and find some support, find some buyers? Right now, you pulled back fast off of that Friday candle where they gave a guidance that was just way too far out. People got excited, but the truth is there's no such thing as a guidance 4 years out. Yeah, you can give it, but no one's going to believe it. All right, let's keep going, guys. You guys keep throwing up those trades in the chat, and I'll keep catching them. I'll be looking for some other action too, guys. We'll be watching to see what happens in retail as that keeps bouncing. Now, we just got a spike in NCNA. There's the spike towards 674s. And this bounced off the $6 spot there. Was below VWAP. Now you just got a spike from around 640s to the 680s. Can it take the 7 here and keep going? This one was hot this morning. Let's see if this really wants to make the move. Go back up there towards 8, towards 10. Definitely in play. All right, guys, got to continue to watch to see if all these stocks kind of make a nice little move there. ZNTL back to 465. I'll see if that one makes a move there towards 5. But right now, just keeping a close eye on NCNA and Drama. XCUR, another one that's in play off of the 230s, pulling back though. So I don't know how much this one will be in play towards the open. But right now, it doesn't look too bad. Nice little pullback on the hourly. I'd continue to watch this hourly to see if it breaks back above the trend line, especially back up above, let's say, 275 going to 280s. This one could make that run into 3. We'll wait and find out. XCUR. DRMA only down about 150 now as it starts to get about 3 candles green, but sideways. Not big green, but sideways. At least giving me the ability to look to see if we get the pop towards the trend line, which is 270 out the gates here. Definitely going to be watching it out the gates. It's going to be a tough trade for sure. Got to be careful out there. We'll wait and find out what happens here, guys. All right, what else we got out there? You guys got a trade. You guys want to watch? Throw them up, man. All right, let's take a look around. Let's see what else is moving out there. I can bring Benzinga Pro here to see what's making a move this, like, literally second. So let's go ahead. Let's just pull this into the screen here. And you guys, if you guys haven't done so before, check out Benzinga Pro, guys. I use the scanners all the time. Also, I have a scanner here to let me know what's moving right now. BFI, BurgerFi. Let me take a quick peek at that. Let me see if it's really moving. It's a tiny spike there. Maybe a buyout or something. It's 15 cents, man. NCNA, of course, you guys see that moving right there. And the big part, change percentage by the 5 minutes. So I look at this and I want to see volume at least in the millions, and then looking to see if it's moving right now. So that's that NCNA, and that's the best looking one right now on the chart. Not the DRMA, NCNA, definitely a one play that I could be looking at. Got there to 690s, back towards 686. We'll see if it keeps moving. Azul, AZUL. Another one to take a look at. Let's take a look at that. AZUL just getting a spike there, and this is an airline. Is this a Brazilian airline? Could be. It's trying to get a spike there through 3. We'll see what happens there. BFI, BurgerFi. It's at the 18 cents, and we can trade it. So it's a little crazy to trade this one, but we'll wait and see what happens there in BurgerFi. Maybe they do a split or something split adjustment or something to get this moving again. I'm not sure, guys. I'll tell you one thing. I could use some BurgerFi. I always love a good burger, but the truth is, we'll see if this stock wants to make a move. I'm not sure if there's any news out on BurgerFi, but you guys can make a look at it. Maybe see if there's volume coming in enough to get this to move back to the upside. There has been volume the last couple of days. It just hasn't really gotten going. We'll see what happens there. All right, let's keep it going, team. What else you guys got out there? Who likes BurgerFi? Let me know in the chat. Chapter 11. Oh, those stocks like to actually go up, Nick Sanders. We'll see what happens. I always love when you get a bankruptcy stock and it goes up, but I've seen it happen plenty of times. That's why I don't go shorting these names, but we'll see what happens, guys. Carvana mentioned in the chat. That's not a bad one to take a look at. All right, let's go looking at that one. I've been waiting to see this one. I still look at this one as a short, right? Because the truth is that I just think the used cars and cars overall are way too expensive, and demand is going to continue to come down. But right now, Carvana was recently getting a little bit of a spike back up. And why is that? Because a lot of this is also an interest rate outlook, right? How will the interest rates affect Carvana, and how will it affect demand in Carvana's vehicles, right? Used vehicles, right? So that's one thing to think about. You guys can see how this has been holding a trend. I'd look at the weekly candles and start to take a look at that 9 EMA on the weekly and how quickly it recovers that. That's a very important level. So back down below 123s, yeah, you can still see this Carvana really break down. Right now, it's trying to do a recovery. So if anything, it's in the bullish sense on the recovery, trying to hold that 9 EMA. So that's 140.71 right now. Make a move back towards 150. We'll see. if it can get the jump or not. I'm seeing BurgerFi towards the 18 cents there. We'll see if it actually makes a move or not. BRAX, of course, was mentioned in the chat. That's coming back to the 362. We'll look to see how that one moves. NCNA got up there to the 690s, popped above the 7 to 710s, now back at the 680s. Will it take another buy on this and really start to push it back through 7? One thing to keep an eye out for. That one's moving, guys. Has an interesting bid in BFI at 13 cents. But taking a look at NCNA, and that's looking decent. Where's the wall on that? There's not too much. It's just lighter volume on the pushes. We'll look to see if it can hold the VWAP. All right, looking around. What else is out there? Not sure why I placed a buy order twice and never went through. Was it a market or limit? Don't forget that in the morning, in the pre-market, you got to put limit orders out there. So that's one thing to think about, right? All right, we'll see what else is out there. Smash the like. Let's go, team. Man, this DRMA, it's just not looking good, guys. And so just got to keep a watch on it towards the bell. It's 916, looking to see if I can get the spike, but really, it's just not wanting to make the move. And I could add to this and lower my average, but that's not going to help things unless we start to really see a trend change. So that's why I'm watching this 15 minutes to see if we can clear back up above this level. This close is so important. Back up into the 250s, a close up to like 260. Yeah, we're working our way back, and then I can think about adding. But right now, it's not the way to add. If I add here, I'm just increasing risk for the downside break. All right, Soxel in the down scanner. That tells me enough, right? So big declines before the bell here. NVIDIA, Apple, right? Big declines there. So let's see what happens at the gates. Do we get continued weakness in these strong tech names? And don't forget, Meta has a big event coming up. So keep your eyes on Meta. That was a quick move back up on Friday. It's been holding this 500 breakdown. It recovered it. Will it go back to 500 here right before the event? Is it a buy the rumor, sell the news event maybe? Maybe they already bought the rumor and now are selling it into it. And another thing to keep in mind, and that I want to put out for all traders out there. In September, it's really the weakest towards the end of the month. Middle of the month could still leave rooms for gains. But that's one thing that's certain is the data says be careful, especially that last 10 days of September is going to be very dangerous. So be careful out there, traders. We'll see what happens. I try to limit and market to buy on NCNA. Just take a look at the price levels, right? Because trust me, I put in the order right now, it'll go through and I'll buy it. But if you want, just because you're brand new, Lord, and I'm not going to really lose much on this, just to kind of show you that the orders will go through. I got you, man. I'll show you a trade there. I'll take it the tiniest trade, the tiniest trade I can take, right? So here, NCNA, you see it up there. You see it buy, limit, right? You see the limit right there. Let's see if we can get 80 here on the buy. So I'm going to put it out there, even not on the offer, on the bid. Let's see if I get filled. There's 80, 87s. I have it out there. No fill just yet. Another thing is set it up on the chart. Chart trading on Trade the Pool is so great. I love it. If you don't have this, you can set it up by going to your settings. There, I'm in my one little penny shares, right? Let's see what happens. I just got one share just to kind of show you that it filled. There's 680s. Got filled at the 680s. It's back to 687 by 780, by 779, 679. So now it'd be kind of looking at it, and you could also use this stop loss, right? Use the target profit. There's ways to use the chart trading. I definitely think chart trading is a good advantage to use, guys. And you can also set up these bid and these buttons so I can close the trade just like that too. Reverse the trade, cancel, sell, cancel all things that I can do, right? Like cancel all, boom, cancels all of them, right? In one click of a button. So to set those up, you got to be going into settings. Maybe make sure that you got your visual trading on. So long and short. So you got your open positions visual, your working orders visual on, right? Failed orders visual on. right? So that's what you want to be setting up. And then you can definitely add some of the buttons right here in the chart order entry. Make sure that you click all these on so that you have everything set up there. And definitely you can also set alerts. You can show alerts. That's a good thing to have, because then you can click alerts like above 7, alert me, right? There's an alert right there. I set it. So it'll alert me if it goes above 7. All things to think about, all things to use. And I hope you go ahead and try to get after it, man. And if you need any questions or have anything about the platform, we also have a Discord that I'll mention. Of course, I'll have Tim probably throw up a link. If not, it should be in our description there. So you can add our Discord and ask as many questions as you need. All right, let's keep going, guys. I'm just going to cut this because it's at 666, but it was one share, so I'm not really stressing it, guys. I can hold into the position, but I'm just trying to do this. It was just to show the example here. So I'm going to just cut the position here, 666. It doesn't even matter where I cut it, right? So selling on the bid is going to be the fastest way to sell out, right? So look, you guys see it there. It's giving me an alert. You sure you want to place this order? Because if it's on the bid, it might fill immediately. That's actually a good thing that it's warning me about. You can take these warnings off, just to let you guys know, just if you want to do that, but just giving you guys the insight there. All right, there, just cut it out there, just to cut out the trade, right? This is just 88 cents just to take the trade. It did cost me $5 though. Nah, I'm just playing. It cost me like $2 between the kind of the execution fees, but that's no worries. I just wanted to show you guys that. That's what it's all about. We'll see what else is out there. Lore, get after it. Waiting for Zim. 16 seconds. See what happens, guys. I'll keep a watch on this $7 spot to see if we go through it during the open, and definitely going to be a level to keep a really close eye on that NCNA. And that stock could lift pretty big today. We'll be watching to see what happens there. All right, guys, got to set up some trades out there. Want to continue to watch to see if the China trade comes down. I did get stopped out of PDD and BABA on Friday. We'll continue to watch those to see what happens. That's a trade that I really like. So today I'll be watching to see what happens on PDD. It's just hanging up at the top, and it could just wash out at the gates. So I'll be keeping a very close eye on this stock. I think if it breaks through 94s, I could get a move to 91. And at the end of the day, there was some pretty negative battles going against China. We've been battling against China, guys. So I'm going to be watching this one, PDD, BABA. And for that mention, I can look at Yang, which is, of course, the China bear. Was able to make a gain on this stock, but wasn't able to make like a huge gain on Yang. So we'll keep watch on it today, see if we can get this to start rising again. All right, guys, getting close towards the bell here. It's 9:23, guys. Smash it up. Do you have any swing ideas? I'm all out of mine. Yeah, we can take a look at the swing life par. Boeing is one way to take a look at it, right? I'm already on that outlook, but we got to take a look here now. I think the one thing, though, you got to keep in mind, right, is perspective in that this week is also the interest rate environment. So it's going to be a little bit shaky, right, to take new swing positions. I think if you're taking new swing positions, you're looking at, okay, will tech continue strong, or will it be maybe a defensive trade towards the end of the year? And that's why I talked about XLP, things like that, because that's just defensive, right? Consumer staples, right? Procter Gamble, things like that, right? Is that going to go right back up? Are we going back to uncertainty, or are we going back to tech trade growth names? That's what you can be asking yourself. So like, let's say like Unity, it's up big, right? Well, this could be a swing back down if you think that growth is going to come and take a hit today, right? Or you can be taking a look to see if you want expansive moves to the upside. So if you think that we're going to be strong here towards the end of the year, ARKK to the upside makes sense, right? Roku, even staying strong. Look at the strength that you got there, right? Zoom, we talked about it, how it's in that flag. What will happen? If it's growth to the end of the year, you can get this right back to 73. If it's starting to decline and it's defensive names, this could easily be back down to 60. So those are all names that you can take a look at. We'll see what happens. I mean, it's a little bit of a battle there, but something to definitely think about, right? All right, guys, let's keep it going. You on Twitch, no one likes you. Viewers. Zoom looks nice. Yeah, Zoom does look nice. This ZNTL, we'll look to see. what happens there. Can it get to 5? There's 5, guys. Nice little pullback. Eventually went through that 480 spot, the 475. We talked about the 478 as being that next level that was a little bit of a stop. It went right through that 520s hit there for a second. So not a bad move there. Alert, alert, SMMT, 3350s. So SMMT getting that spike already, guys, towards that 3350s. We'll look to see if this keeps going. Right now, I'm not getting in front of it, right? I want to get on the backside of it. So got to keep letting it break out, and then we'll see if we get a breakdown. How did that Saunders stock ever do? Did that thing ever just come crashing back down? Oh, it's on the 9 EMA. We'll see what happens there. Hilton. What happened in Leisure? Leisure was just starting to bounce back. RCL was looking like it wanted to break out. Will it break out, or will it break down today? Something to think about, right? CCL climbing back there. And airlines were starting to get strong last week. Can it get strong again? I'm not sure, guys. It did get a little lift there last week. We'll see if we can push. Drama definitely going to be my top watch, of course, because I'm in it. So we'll see what happens if we get a spike back. Looking to see if we can get a move back here towards this high, maybe potentially coming towards this $5 high. But it could always come just crashing down. The 15-minute chart not making me feel confident. Really wanted to see it closer towards that 250 towards the open here. Not looking good as we got about, 3 minutes for the open here? Pretty much 3 minutes as it's 9:26:40s there. So we'll look what happens here towards the bell. If not, just got to cut out, take the hit in this one, and bounce back. Let's go. I was told in the chat with Trade the Pool, please remember your exposure is less pre-market than it is during the market hours. Yes, you got to remember that, right? So on the day trading side of things, right, you're not going to have all the buying power in the pre and after hours, right? If you're on this day trading accounts, it comes down. It's about 10% of the money, right? Where can you take a look at this to understand it? Well, you can go to Trade the Pool site, right? I'm going to go ahead and just pull it up really quickly. I know we got a new trader here, so I think it's very important to kind of catch those situations so that you can kind of learn, right? That's what it's all about. Can I trade in the pre-market hours? Here it is, guys. So if you guys look at this, and you can go to it in the facts, answers, and questions. I'll throw up a link so you can click that, Lore, so you can learn a little bit more about this. And here it is. So can I trade in the pre-market? Yes, you can. These are the buying powers that exist, right? So there it is right there, the mini 3,000, super 12, extra 24, and ultimate 39,000. And that's in the pre-market hours, right? So that's what matters. 4 to 9:40 aftermarket hours. You got 1600 to 20, right? And so you got all the hours available to you. It's just at less size. With these penny names, though, it doesn't matter too much, man. Like NCNA, right? You guys see it trading right now, all right? I'll just show you guys like how much I could purchase if I wanted to, right? So there is, it's at 650s, right? I'm going to put it a ways away. So if I do, for some reason, get a downturn, I'm not really getting filled on this order. I don't expect to get filled on it, but you can see it. I could trade, let's say, could I get 3,000 shares there? Let's see. NCNA, buy, limit 5. Yeah, I could do 3,000. The order's out there, just sitting there, right? So that's a pretty substantial amount right there, guys. I mean, 3,000 shares can make you a hell of a lot of money in the pre-market with one of these penny stocks. So just be careful out there. But there you have it. Just went through it. Just wanted to help you out. I know that we got some new traders out there, and it's important to kind of get through that. All right, guys, get ready for the bell. It's 9:29. We got 1 minute here. SPY has been declining all morning. Now we'll look to see what happens at the guns, out the gates. NVIDIA still declining, 116.66. That doesn't make me feel good. That tells me stocks has a little bit higher towards 24.26. Looking to see if that gets declined to 23.10s and holds here out the gates. Look to see Apple, if that washes out a little bit further. Microsoft was just popping back. Let's take a look to see what happens with this one. This has been hot as of late. Look at the daily chart. 1, 2, 3, about 6 days in the green. Can it continue green? Tesla bouncing back. That looks like a pullback maybe to 225s, but back through 232s, and you get in the gap zone. Of course, remember last week, I talked about looking for a gap fill towards 245 on Tesla. Let's see if we get there. All right, guys, bell's about to hit. There's the bell, guys. Go trading. Be safe out there, traders. I'd love to make the noise for the bell, but I got to go pay attention to this trade right here. I'm already deep in the red here. Got to be careful here, guys. All right, getting a hit here, guys. It's already down pretty big here. I'm about to stop out here, guys. But definitely looking to see if I can get some kind of recovery here. And DRMA, it's not looking good here. The Q's coming straight down out the gates, guys. Straight down, 472, guys. Got to go pay attention to that. That's going to affect the Vixie trade here. In a second, I'm going to let go of a stop here to see if drama wants to work its way back. It's at 230s here. About to set the stop here and then just get off of it. Go looking elsewhere. And definitely going to lose if I lose on this a little too much. 232s, pushing it a little bit farther than the 200 spot. But let's see if this can turn back around. Now it's starting to test back down. Q's going down fast there, guys. So definitely be careful out there, traders. It's not looking good out there right now. On the downside, definitely getting some downside action here. Drama, though, and PDD straight down there, guys. So just be careful out there. Definitely seeing that down action here. Going to go ahead and just set this stop. I got to get out of here, guys. I got to go ahead and focus on another trade. If it gets hunted right now, hey, so be it. I'll take the hit. I definitely was too big on this one, too early, and got to learn from this one. We'll talk a little bit about this one later. Let's go trade. Let's focus in. Vixie at the 12.11s, 12.10s. If anything, pulling back there. Need to take a look at the action in NVIDIA. NVIDIA bouncing back there. Apple bouncing back, but rejecting the VWAP. So we'll see what happens there. There's the cut out of DRMA. Bad trade there, guys. Held it for way too long. Just pushed the trade way too far. Not the way to trade there to start it off. But hey, I'm always going to be honest and show you guys the right way and the wrong way. That was the wrong way there. So I'll keep battling. I'll battle back here. Hey, sometimes you're going to have that type of trade, but we'll see what happens there. Let's take a look there. There's the push on NCNA towards 7. Holding well here. Can we get this one to spike a little bit higher? 15-minute chart has this still in play. Nice little move higher. I'll look for a little pullback now. Can we get a pullback to 675s really quickly? But nice little pop there on that move. SMMT also. Now straight down move on SMMT. I like this one a little bit more even. So I'm looking for SMMT here, guys. I did see that pullback on NCNA to the 670s. That's the level that I like there. It's back to 680s. I'm leaving that alone. I'm looking for a short here on SMMT towards 3280s. This is already dropping fast, guys. I might have to jump into it here. It's dropping really fast. I just need to push back here towards the 3250s, 3275s, but look at the decline already there in SMMT. And I was looking for this to blow off top and then come down fast here. So I would love for it to just come back here like it wants to break out 233s, and then I can short it big. Let's see what happens here. SMMT. There's that NCNA. It's right around that level, so just going to continue to watch it. Vixie giving me a little bit of a spike there, guys. So need to continue to watch the Vixie there. It's actually looking pretty good as we start to get a move there. And so is PDD on the downside. So if I'm looking at what's good on the downside, PDD just rejected towards the 94s. Going to continue to watch that, see if it breaks the 94s. That's definitely a level that I want to keep an eye out for. NCNA pulling back to that 677s. We'll see if it keeps moving, guys. A lot of action out there right now. Wish you guys the best of luck. All right, let's see what happens. SMMT, PDD. Those are all names that I like here. I'm just looking for some kind of action back here to get short. And that NCNA, just battling that 680s, but now back towards the 670s. I don't like that action there. It was definitely like a little bit of poppy and then kind of ran into a little bit of some stoppage action. At the $7, there's a lot of resistance there. It needs to take it. There's Summit coming back here. It's going to give me the opportunity here. So I'm trying to get towards above 32s. I would love above 32s. Let's say towards 3230s, 32. Actually, VWAP is 3260s. So I got to be a little bit careful here that I don't get caught at early 32s. I'll do 3250s. It doesn't come to it. It doesn't come to it, guys. But it got there towards 3198. It's rejecting it right now. Looking to see what happens here. It's definitely still pretty weak here. Wanted to see it get closer towards at least this rejection of 32.30s. It can't jump too far in this. If I just chase at 31.40s, I'm just chasing, guys. I need some kind of pullback to get short on it, but we'll see if I get it. The NTL got there towards the 528s. Nice recovery off that 480s. It's pushing strong in that ZNTL. Wish you the best of luck on that one, guys. There's NCNA back down to 620. So what a fake out there. PDD getting weak there, guys. So I like that outlook, but not being able to grab it right now. The Vixie. Taking a look at that. Vixie now towards 1220s, guys. How's NVIDIA? Down to 114. Tesla down to 224s. The Q's down to 470s here. So big move there in the Vixie. Back up above the 1220s. Would look for a nice little pullback if I can get it, but no pullback just yet, guys. I would love to see this back down towards 1216, 1215s. I will take a shot there if I can get that, but seeing this, it's coming down fast here. Put an alert at 1218s. I would like to see this get back there towards 1215s today. Going to keep a close eye on it. Let's go back to SMMT. I did have the order out there. No fill on that order on SMMT. Right now, I'm canceling it. Just keeping a close eye on SMMT here. See if I can get an alert back here. It's just real weak, guys. It's hard to chase this thing, and I don't want to chase it. I need to get it back to VWAP, so I'm looking for that attempt back to VWAP to add short. Let's go. Let's go. DVNA. There it is. Pre-market high. You're trying to get it through that pre-market high. You just hit that pre-market high. 145. It's trying to take it. We'll look to see if it takes that next step. SMMT now down to 3080s there, guys. So definitely seeing a decline there in SMMT. You can see it on the daily chart, but there's no bounce back yet. So I need to wait for a bounce back towards 32s. I'll look to see if I can get it at some point. Vixie at 1224s. I need some decline. I could just jump into it right here at the 1220s, but then I'd have to add at the 1215s. I'm looking for that pullback back towards 1218 and 1217s, and then I could get long on the Vixie. Qs overall straight down towards the 470s. Definitely declining there. SPY towards 460s. SOXS up there towards 2490. So SOXS was a good move this morning. You got that in the pre-market. You got a nice little lift already. We'll look to see if we get some change of tune. But NVIDIA straight down to 115s. Not a good sign there. And a wash through the 117s. 114 was the wash last week. So let's see what happens at that 114 level if we decline to it. Apple overall down to 214 here, definitely showing some weakness. Microsoft bouncing back though to the 470, 490. So if you're looking for some type of stock that is strong, I talked about it early, how Microsoft was one of the stocks that was doing well last week, and it is pushing right now. It's the only like kind of big boy that's green here. Maybe Costco you can include in that, but yeah, that's the only one that I'm seeing kind of green from the top end. You're seeing NVIDIA down almost a full percent. You're seeing Meta almost down a full percent. So let's see what happens there. Definitely Microsoft leading the up action if you're looking for it. PDD back at VWAP there. That one looks interesting for me. PDD might be one trade that I get into already here. Taking a look at the action, they've just rejected that 94.50s there. Bounce back there, starting to get back up there. Now I'm going to look to see if it can decline off of this. It's up there towards 94.60s, almost 94.50s. Back down towards the 45s, towards the 40s here. It's going to be a quick trade here if I'm able to get it in here. Now I'm going to try to get it towards the 40s. Vixie pulling back there, going to give me the opportunity. Looking around, I'm seeing some bounces out there. All right, guys, just grabbed a little bit there of PDD on the short side of the things, guys. 36 short there, 200 shares. Nothing massive. Trying to keep it in watch right now to make sure that we don't kind of get above this 94.60s. So keeping it in watch right now, about 20 shares, 20 cents there. Not big, but definitely want to see if I reject another move up here, and then we can get after it a little bit more. SMMT still hasn't made that move towards the VWAP, but I still like this. Just needed to get back there towards above 32 as I have an alert for it. But if it doesn't get back towards 32s, hey, so be it, guys. Vixie. Got to go look at the Vixie. We're back towards the 1220s, looking for a 1218, 1215 pullback here. Let's see if I can get the 1215 pullback. I wouldn't mind that. So I'm going to put out 300 shares there just to see if I get a quick little pullback on this, but it's not pulling back right now. All right, just put it out at 1215s there. Got to go look at PDD as it's going right towards that 94.60s, and that's why it stayed smaller first. Need to give it the rejection ability here, and I do have that ability to give it that rejection. Now I'll be watching to see if I get a quick move down here. If not, got to go ahead and get out, but hey, taking the trades, guys, taking the trades. PDD, what will happen here? Down about 70 right now, just keeping a close eye on it. Vixie right back up there. PDD squeezing on me right now, guys. Got to go ahead and protect it here in just a second. Not going to let it get through that 95. Definitely setting the stop there, guys. I just set it at that 95. That's about 126 in the red. Not going to push it too much in this first action here. Looking for the decline right back down in PDD. If it starts to decline and comes back through my level, I can add to it and take the shot there. We'll see what happens on that one. Going to keep it going. Let's go to Vixie. Vixie towards to 1225. How's NVIDIA there? Just rejected the VWAP. So look for maybe VWAP rejections in some of the tech names. Apple coming back to the VWAP there. SMMT. Just rejected, didn't come back to the 32, so it's just very difficult. It got close there, 3190s. I don't want to chase Summit, but I feel like this one's going to be one that I'm just going to miss now. It's just declining. Could easily come back to 24s, but I need some type of move back to the VWAP. So if this comes back to VWAP, I don't mind shorting SMMT, but if it doesn't come back and it's just on the lower hit, I'll just let it go. Vixie, we'll see what happens there. Vixie just hanging out there. We'll look to see if I get a little bit more decline there. PDD came straight back down there. It's kind of like just balancing out here. Could start to reject this 80s move. Really need to see it back towards the VWAP, and then we'll look to see if we get the breakdown move. Yang is something to take a look at. Baba also, we'll see what happens. There's some strength there in Baba. Back to the upside in Baba. I got to be careful there. Would like to see this kind of decline back through the 84s, but just keep it in mind there. PDD back to 94.50s here. Could lower size and kind of downsize there, but just going to look to see if it just makes a quick wash towards the 94. Q's hanging strong right now. Still looking for a bounce in SMMT. I'm not getting it there, guys. So just got to let that one go. Got to take a look at the sectors. What's doing well today? Financial services doing well today. Defensive and energy. Defensive, of course, we're taking a look at XLP. XLP, nice little move up higher at the beginning, 84.50s, now pulling back towards the 84.30s. I like a nice hourly long pullback on this, back towards like 84.20s. But if the Qs continue to break down, that could be a way that we could continue to see XLP rise. PDD back towards the level right there on the VWAP. Let's see if it washes out here. There's back into the 31, so I'm in the green essentially on the bid side. Offer side still in the red, looking for a cut down into the 94.20s, and then I could step up to the plate. Then I can look for the breakdown, then I can add, and then I can look for the big win, especially towards the 94s. I can add and look for a bigger win. Of course, this on the hourly could come easily back down towards the 91s. So $3 potential tells me that, hey, it's okay. Stay small, then we'll get bigger. We'll take a shot here. That's what it's all about. Now giving it the chance for the VWAP bounce back up towards the 94.80s. If I add here, that's easily how I get wrecked, and it goes to 95, right? I know my out. It's above that 95. Let's see if it rejects here. Baba actually going towards the upside right now. Doesn't look the best there. Qs overall back at VWAP. Will it reject VWAP and come right back down? SQQQ also on the VWAP bounce opportunity right back to the upside. Vixie still hasn't pulled back enough for me to jump in there. I can jump in at the 1220s, but I feel like I'm chasing a little bit there. On the 15-minute candle, I would love to see a decline back towards prior support or like kind of resistance, 1218s, 1215s. That looks like a better kind of opportunity for me. But it could just break through the 1227s and just keep going if the market just keeps just falling, right? And so that's what I'm looking at right now. Nice little decline there in the Qs. Let's see what happens here. Does it hold the VWAP or does it come right back through the 471? JPM, what's up out there? What's up out there? JPM back towards 206. We'll look to see if that gets a little bit more of a bounce. PDD just hanging out here. Now I'm looking to see if we get that decline. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get that decline there. 94.60s just hanging up out here. There's some good action there. Now I'm looking to see if we can cut towards the 94.30s. Now start cutting towards the 94.20s, and then I can risk right off that 94, like kind of 55 area. SMMT still declining there, guys. I had a good trade on in that one. Just didn't get the ability to maybe attack it. If I did attack it, it would have to have been attacking that first pop towards 34.50s. So that's not too bad. 33.60s. That was the pop there. Blow off top, right back down. PDD, looking at this one, guys, back towards the 94.30s here. Now will it just do a quick washout through that 94? That's what I'm looking at here. All right, watching it here. Going to take a look at also the Qs to see if it makes a move towards the 470s. NVIDIA is pretty weak, guys. Pretty weak. I'm looking to see if that can bounce, but it's still pretty weak on that. The Tesla bounced towards the 226. We'll look to see if it makes a move. Remember, I talked about pullbacks towards 224s and 225s available on Tesla. It literally went right now to that level on the first downside action. 225s, 224s, bounced right off of that. Let's see if that's a good level to go ahead and buy the dip on. And that was based on the hourly, right? And so there's the opportunity. Now the question is, do you get after it? It all depends on how you view the day. But if you think that we're just going to come right back up on the day, well, that was an opportunity there on Tesla's 9 EMA daily. So you got an opportunity off of that pullback. We'll see what happens in Tesla. PDD, let's see what happens here now, guys. It's back into the 37s here. Has been fighting. It's red now. Now I need to take a look to see if it does a nice little washout. Looking to see it go towards my level, the 94.30s, and then I can just add to it and take a shot towards through the 94s. Vixie pulling back here. That's going to give me an opportunity to take a shot on the Vixie. Canceling the Vixie buy. I'm just keeping the alert out there. Q's bouncing strong there, guys. Got to be careful. There's the Vixie coming back down, 1220s. PDD trying to make that down move here. Back towards 94.20s, but I see the Q's jumping here. That gets me a little bit weary about taking a shot too quickly here. So I'll wait towards the 94 crack versus just adding right now. So I'm just waiting for the 94 crack. I'm in the green, but also just want to see this crack 94s now. There's the Vixie coming back, guys. I need to go focus on that. This is in the green, so I can go focus on the Vixie here. Let's go take a look at it. It's back towards 12.19 and 12.18s. I'm looking for a little bit more decline to get a little bit of a piece in the Vixie. Of course, we could have moves towards 10 a.m. that could be a little bit of a different shake, right? So that's why I'm looking for a move towards 12.15 here. Just a quick little decline back towards the 12.10 support in the pre-market. That's pretty much what I'm looking at there. All right, in the green there, and PDD going to continue to watch it there. There's a cut down in the Vixie, looking to try to get 500 shares there at the 12.15s here, guys. So definitely going to step up to the plate. Just want to see a nice little decline come back here and then give me an opportunity to get in off prior resistance around the 12.12s is that level, 12.12. So it could get a little bit more decline into the 12.15s here. 90 EMA around the 12.14. So that's clearly the kind of the best level right now. I'm just trying to get the first starter here, but I might not get it, guys. It might just hold 12.20s here and then the Qs decline. So looking at it to see maybe if I take the shot right here. All right, guys, starter on there, guys. I'm going to start the 500 shares there at the 12.20s. I'll look for a decline towards the 12.14s for that add of the next 500 shares, but already starter on there in the Vixie long. All right, going back to PDD now. Got to go focus on PDD. Might get an add here opportunity. All right, so PDD, got to keep it small. It's in the green here, and then at this point, it should kind of break down here. So going to keep the risk tight here towards, let's do 76 bucks. So I just did set the stop right there, $76. I'd rather risk 76 than push it too much on this trade. It needs to start getting towards that 94 breakdown, and then I can add 2 more 100 shares and risk off the VWAP. Let's see what happens here. It's going to be a big determinant to see if I take an add or not. 12.20 is looking like the Vixie wants to come right back up there. Of course, it's only declined probably about 1 or 2 times. I could look for that one more time decline on the 15-minute. This is what I'm pretty much watching, the resistance of the prior action, trying to see if that can pull back, hold that, and then make the next move, which could be a pullback towards 212s, 211s. So that's kind of the risk right now, and keeping that in mind. We'll see what happens here in the Vixie. PDD just hanging out at the below the VWAP here, so they just need to take it through the 94s. They really need a louder bell. Oh, that pillow, man. Don't worry, you just need Money Mitch next to you. They need a Money Mitch alarm. Good morning to you, traders. Let's get after it, guys. Smash the like. What are you guys liking out there? I love gold and oil rebound. All right. I see you, Wiz. There's 12.16. Might have got too excited on that Vixie. I will say that our first entry, yeah, might have got a little too excited there. But hey, that's why I kept that at the 500. Really want to even step up to the plate. On these Vixie trades, I've done pretty well in them. So I want to get to the point where I can maybe take 2,000 shares on them, or maybe even 3,000 shares at some point. So just going to keep battling, team. That's what it's always about, guys. Got to keep the battle on. Let's go, team. All right, Qs are bouncing back pretty fast, but NVIDIA's not bouncing back as fast, right? It's hanging out at the VWAP. So I'm looking to see if this is a VWAP rejection right back down. And I actually look at this as a short opportunity here. So I might go short on it right now. It actually doesn't look bad at all there as it starts to decline the 116. 116.70s would be that resistance break where it starts to break to the upside. But I'm using this as an indicator. I want to see NVIDIA come right back down. Tesla, another rejection of that 225s. We'll see what happens there. PDD now towards 94.23s. Has the ability to really take it here. Now the question is, will they do the breakdown? That will help my Vixie trade, right? So I'm just keeping an eye on the Vixie trade here as it's pulling back. And where do I have my Vixie add? Let's see. Have it down right now at the 12.14s. I'm going to pull it down here towards like 12.12s just to try to get the best pullback entry. It's at the 12.15s right now. I could add it. We'll see what happens here in the Qs. It's starting to kind of push here. Let's see it. Will it rip to the upside? It very much could here, guys. NVIDIA. How's Apple? Apple back above VWAP. We'll look to see it. Now you got opportunities. VWAP fades back down, or do you think that we get the upside move and you're betting upside off of VWAP here? Doesn't seem too bad. Wish you guys the best of luck. Let's get after it. You got to paste it. The Money Mitch alarm clock. Good morning to you, traders. Let's go, guys. PDD now down towards 94.16, 94.06. Going to take the shot here to add to it and see what happens. There it goes. Just shorted it at the 94s. Added there, guys. Looking for the big breakdown here. Let's see if we get it. Risking about $100 now on this. Looking for the breakdown here. Let's go. Added it on the breakdown versus like kind of the move back, and it's coming back to me pretty quickly here, so I need to keep a really close eye on it. It's right on the bottom of the end of the range, so if it breaks this, we could go. Got to be careful for a move back above 94.40s. I have the out stop closer towards $100. That's 94.43s right now, so just got to keep a close eye on that. Back up there, got to go ahead and get out, but really looking for the breakdown here. Let's see if we can get it. Move back up there, and it's just going to stop me out. So just got to stay in the battle right now. Maybe took the ad a little bit too low towards the 94s, but hey, just trying to take these ads closer towards the breakdown levels. Back towards the 94.39s. Got to be careful here. It could go right back through the 94.50s, and then you're back towards 94.70s. Definitely don't want to hold towards that move. There's a nice rejection back into the 94.25s. Looking to see if I can get the move to hold below the 940s now. Q's ripping to the upside. With that being said, I got to go ahead and establish risk here, because it could be quickly a move up on PDD. There's 36 on the offers, looking for a little bit of a decline there. It's tightening up, but it's also pressuring me on this PDD. Got to go ahead and just set the stop, guys. 136 stop set there, 94.52s. If it comes back and gets me, it comes back and gets me. At this point, set it, forget it. We'll see what happens. Definitely don't want it to get back through this kind of like level right here. This 43. I have the stop set right above it here towards 51. We'll look to see if it breaks down the 94s and keeps going down. Back to the Vixie, focusing on the next trade. Let's go. It just bounced off that 12.15 here, so giving me the ability to see the Qs decline. Let's see if the Qs come in with that decline, and now we get the move. So looking to see if the Qs can maybe break the 473s here first before I jump in too quickly. Qs, are you going to break the 473s on the downside here? That's the 9 EMA break where I'm looking to see if NVIDIA heads to the low. So NVIDIA went right back up, right? So take a look at that action. That's going to be important. Do we just slow stair step on this level, or do we end up breaking this? That's one thing to think about. And of course, back through opening price is very important. You went right to it right now. Opening price 116.70. 116.73 right now. So do you undercut it right back down, or do you go back towards 117.50s? Vixie back towards the 12.20s, so gives me the ability to go for it, guys. So I'm going to go for it here. Trying to add here. Small decline there in the Qs, but not enough for me. No ad just yet on that Vixie, guys. Apple made a move attempt down. Let's see if Apple leads here. Vixie picking up, guys, 12.23s. Now I'm trying to add at 12.20, which was my original entry. So starting to see a little bit of a pickup here in the Qs. for the downside break here. Let's see if we start to get it. PDD, I just wanted you to wash. Let's go, wash. Come on, PDD. Vixie's looking for ads back at 1220s. Q's trying to go back up here, so I'm pulling back off of the Vixie move. Nvidia trying to come up too, so that's why I'm pulling off the Vixie right now. Pulling it back down towards the support, which is the 1215 right now. PDD just hanging out there, man. It's just trying to decipher right now which way it's going to go. Tesla, same thing. Look at the VWAP, guys. Look how it's just hanging out right there on the VWAP. This looks like the VWAP fake out fade, where it can fade off of that 227 breakout and just come back down to the 225s here. Let's see what happens at 227. Big level at that 227 for Tesla. This is the pattern right now on the 1 minute, guys. Let's see if it comes back down through that 225s. PDD just still hanging out below the VWAP, though. That's at least the only thing that's keeping me in this trade. Vixie's in the green here. Let's see what happens. Q's still trying to make the up move, but haven't been able to. Now let's see if we really get the decline to come right back in it. Watching Tesla and Nvidia right now. Tesla testing to the upside. Nvidia also back towards that 117.50 level. Vixie up, but not up a lot here. I'm just keeping a really close eye on it, guys. Back down below 227 there in the Tesla. So rejection from that 227 move back through that level, and I think you're starting to climb back. So this is the fun part now. Vixie 225s could just break out and keep running here, guys. So it's going to be all on the Qs here on the SPY. Overall market now starting to pull back a little bit there. Let's see how much of a pullback we get. Vixie looks like it just wants to take off here, so. Now 1228s there for the Vixie, back through the high in the intraday. Now we're getting that action there, guys. I'm stepping up to the plate here. Boom, just put out there 1230s, guys. So any little pullback, I'll get filled on the Vixie. On PDD, I can step up to the plate and go a little bit bigger on that breakdown through the 94. But what I'm going to do is on the break of 94, I can just start holding break even on this and really look good for the swing. And if it keeps going in the direction, got $3 potentially on the downside here for reward. So just got to let it work here and see if I get the breakdown through the 94s. Pull back on the Vixie now towards 1225. So got to be keeping a close eye on the Qs here to see if I can get the breakdown below the VWAP here now. That was a little bit of a wick trick there at that 10 o'clock. But 10 o'clock, you guys know how it is. It's 9:45 to 10 o'clock. We got to rise through that. Now, back through 1030s. Let's say 474s. Upside looks good. So, hey, both sides of the trade you guys have available to trade right now. Get after it, team. All right, PDD going into the green there. Now back towards 94.15s. Now let's see if they take the 94s here, or will it come right back up? NVIDIA upside move gets me a little bit concerned about the Vixie here, but just got to keep it really close. NVIDIA is what's pushing, guys. That's what's keeping the market up right now. Look at that NVIDIA back towards 117.76. Apple's probably going to get that bounce now a little bit. We'll see what happens here. Microsoft was strong earlier in the market, right? It's at the VWAP now. Looks like an opportunity if you're looking for upside action. Vixie now pulling back on me, and I had an opportunity there to cut it out break even. Could have cut it there at the 226 there. Was a little slow to my execution. I will say that, right? So at this point, now I'm holding up here at the VWAP pullback. I'm just looking at the Qs to give me the signal on what's going on there. PDD, I'm in the green, but nothing on the 94 breakdown just yet. So just got to be careful here to see turnarounds coming back. Testing the 94.10s now in PDD. Looking to see if this can just go now. 94.06. Come on, break through that 94. Let's go. Let's go. Flush it. Flush it. Can they cut through that 94 now? The opportunity is there. 94.06, 94.12s, 94.14s. Come on. Went down there to 94.05. Still haven't gotten the breakdown there. Getting a fast pullback into Vixie there, though. Definitely added up at the top of the Vixie. Bad execution on that end. Definitely on the ad there. It was looking like a breakdown in the Qs, and it reversed on me, wicked on me. So that's where I got to be very careful. The NVIDIA's going strong to the upside here. Tesla's still declining, but NVIDIA's the one that's driving the action back. So I got to continue to watch that. If Microsoft gets strong here, it's not going to be looking good, guys. So, hey, just trying to keep the risk and return in mind, right? Can lose about 100 or 200 on that Vixie. No more than that. Got to keep that in mind there. PDD does not want to break down, guys. That's a little bit of a sign of concern. It's just hanging out there. Taking some shots at least. SMMT, what happened on that one? Ever came back to the VWAP? No, just came fading throughout the gates. Vixie back down to 12.15s here. We'll look to see if it catches a little bit of the pullback on the 15-minute. Definitely got caught up there, buying up there way too high on that 12.30 buy. So should have been buying at near my level, 12.20s. So it should be at 12.20s, not 12.25s. But it's not the worst to be at 12.25, but at the same time, shouldn't have been buying at that 12.30. Q's just hanging out here, and it's trying to get that next move to the upside. So you got to be careful out there. You could still get the upside move here. SPY just hanging out at the top end of the range. We got a big wick down here just recently. Let's see what happens. PDD. 94.13s. It's trying to make the break, but can't break down for some reason. Keeps finding some buyers. Would like to see a big wipeout here on the PDD and then kind of the overall market kind of lead back. But if anything, it's looking like that's exactly what could happen. So you got 1, 2, 3 bottoming actions. You're getting reversal here. Not what I want to see there. You're back towards the 26. Could easily start to spike here. Now the Qs start to pull back a little bit here. We could get a little bit of a pop and then the decline. They got to be careful here. Just establish risk. That's what matters. Tesla back down, but NVIDIA is the one to be like, that's the one that has my focus. Q's back through that 473 mark. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. If I could get PDD deeper into the green, I can step up there on the Vixie. I haven't stepped up a little bit more in the Vixie because I'm also having this PDD position, but Looking to see what happens here as you still got the ability for this to go through 94s. Big level right here. The Qs just hanging out at the 473s. Tesla pulled back to the 117.50 spot. Big watch there. 172.80s here on the Qs. Can it go to 472.50s? It's trying to recover that 473 right now. That's the big level I'm watching right now. 473 on the Qs. And this PDD, man, it's right on the levels. I'm just looking for the wash. Qs recovered 473s. Not a good watch for me there. Nvidia back towards 118. It just seems like the market wants the up move, but hasn't gotten it there. Nvidia could lead the action right here. And next thing you know, you're starting to grind higher. So Qs going sideways on the 5-minute chart now towards the top end of the range. It was right now on the bottom end of the range, looking like a breakdown. And just like that, it comes right back. So you just got to be careful out there, guys. It's going to be a battle right now in between the bulls and the bears on the top end of the range for the overall market. Getting that pressure in PDD as it comes back here, but Qs haven't broken the range. That's what I'm keeping a very close eye on. All right, what's up out there, guys? Long on copper. All right. Wheeler getting wild again. Man, that stock is something else, guys. There's some stocks in the market that you're just like, you just shake your head to, man. That's one of them. Just got to shake your head. Q's just still battling, guys. So just be careful out there. Both ways. It hasn't made a decision up. That's what it feels like. PDD, another rejection of VWAP. So recovery of this move through VWAP. That's the scary part. If it comes back to the bottom end of the range, we're looking great. That's like the third or fourth rejection of the VWAP. So now it's just trying to keep it tight here. All right, back on the bottom end of the range. I'm dropping the stop because I want to go focus on the Vixie and focus on the Qs here to see if they decline there. PDD, you can see there, it's declined off the VWAP now. 1, 2, 3. This is the fourth time back above that, even in the 94.40s. I got to be careful there, guys. So that's what I'm looking at. I set the stop there at 94.53s, 94.52s, just to give myself the ability to have a couple of pennies above the bid. But that's it, guys. Need this to come down and reject 94. All right, looking at the Vixie now, because I could add to this if it starts to go back above VWAP and goes for the breakout. The Qs are right at the top end of the range. That's where it gets a little bit careful. Another way I could trade this also would be maybe the long Tesla and kind of hedge a little bit. And if I get loss on Tesla, I'd probably get a win on the Vixie. So it's kind of a mixed battle there. It could also do NVIDIA, right? That's the strong one. Look at that, continuing its strength higher. I've talked about how that's been strong on the bounce back. Microsoft, be careful if it goes back to the top end of the range. At least the bears out there, they're on my side right now. So there's Microsoft staying strong. And if Apple recovers, all hell breaks loose. And look at Apple coming back. That's what did the move right now. When it wicked down and it came back, Apple's the stronger one in the last, let's say, 10 or 15 minutes. So Apple coming back on me. That's what's the battle right here. And there was some negative news in the iPhones that were affecting it this morning. It was declining fast, and it's making its way right back into the morning action around the 217.19 level. And you're right there, 217.05. We'll see what happens here. Q's making the upside move there, so not feeling good about it, guys. At the end of the day, I can just cut it right now, but I'm taking my trades, right? If these trades go red, I'll understand, hey, that's it, not seeing it right. Could flip there, but That's not what I'm seeing, at least. AMD stronger right now. Soxel back above 3250s. We'll see what happens there. You're definitely getting a little bit of a bounce back after that opening decline. What's leading the up action? I take a look at the last hour. Technology, financials, and real estate are the areas that I see strong there. What's in the red on the last hour? Defensive, basic materials, and energy. Those are what's pulling back in the last hour. Q's pushing strong. Doesn't make me feel good about PDD. PDD probably going to stop me out in just a second here, guys. Really close to the wick out there at the 47s. Could easily just spread out, get me at the 94.50s here. I'll take the hit and get out there. But hey, that's just the way it goes, guys. I had the setup there. It's really nice setup. It's just not wanting to make the move. The market determines it, not us. So that's the truth. And right now, the price action is to the upside. We'll see if we get a quick decline. But for right now, it's looking like upside action. Stay safe out there, traders. Like always, you guys know where you're at. It's Trade the Pool. Smash it up. All right, guys, 10:15 now. Seeing a little bit of some sideways slowdown, but definitely getting that approach to stop me out in PDD. I just pulled it off there. Gave me about 100 and give me 94.55s as the risk, but if it could easily come and get me, guys. So PDD, watch out there, guys. I just pushed it up a little bit to give me a little bit of room, but back into this 50s and it'll get me out. Just watching PDD like a hawk right now. Vixie's coming back, and that's a good sign at least, but little spike there in PDD, now closer towards the 50s and easily could get towards 94.60s. So got to be really close here and keeping the risk managed. Back down into the 40s. That's a good sign. Now I'm looking to see if it comes back towards 94.50s. If I see 94.50s show up there, I got to get out. Even if I got to take the hit, got to know when the getting's good. Q's coming down fast there, guys. Back towards the 473s. I'm going to set here, stop, and I'm going to go add to the Vixie. I'm going longer on the Vixie, guys. Got to take my opportunity here to get a little bit of a better fill. Seeing that Tesla come back. Q still dropping. I added there, guys. I got now 2,000 shares on the Vixie at the 24s. Taking a shot, guys. Taking a shot. There's PDD back down. That makes me feel confident about that one, guys. I'm going to go ahead and take a shot there, guys. Let's see if this can really start to break now. Big thing is the Qs. The Qs need to break down, right? And so that's the big level here. The Qs going down to the 473s. I need to cut down towards like 472.50s to make me feel a little bit more confident on these positions. SPY still hanging up there too. So that's a little bit concerning there. We'll see what happens. Financial services going higher. We'll see what happens on that XLF. Definitely in that sideways period right now where it's determining what it's going to do for the day. And a lot of times when you're at this point, the day traders are starting to go, right? And so we're going to get a little bit of a shake here. We'll see what happens in the next like 10 minutes. A lot of times day traders are gone by 10:30. I like to stick around towards a little bit 11. And really the best trading hours for me had been after 10 o'clock. Lately. So got to go ahead and still focus here. Let's see what happens. Definitely in that sideways range off the 5 minute. You can see it here, guys. We've been pretty much sideways here. We've had an up 1, down 1, up 2, down 2, up 3, down 3. Should it break this 479.80 area, that's going to be a big level for me on the bull side. Like if I was a bull and I was just playing this, That's the way I would be looking at it. I'd want it to hold that level and break out above 474. So I always try to think about things sometimes, guys, and you got to think about this in a different way. Is think about them as a bear, think about them as a bull. What is both sides thinking about? What are they seeing on the chart? What are they coming after? What's up out there in the chat? How we doing? Wheeler at 770 now. Man, I should start to trade these pennies. Par, they're hard, man. They're hard, especially a Wheeler. That thing has an algo all over it, man. Mitch, do you have stats for this PDD? Is it better to wait for it to trigger stop loss either than take it before if the market changes? What do you mean by that, Par? I didn't understand this question really. We could talk about it though. Let's take a second, especially after like 10:30. We'll talk about that. Save that question at 10:30. Make sure to ask me. We'll talk. We'll take a second and we'll talk all about it. These Qs, man, these Qs are giving me a heart attack. And that just goes to show you that I'm sizing up, right? As you size up, the number one thing you'll feel is more emotions, more attachment to the trade. So like, let's say on the Vixie, I'm feeling more attached to it, right? As the size goes higher, you feel more attached to the trade. Essentially, that attachment is the emotion attachment, right? So just keep it objective. These are things that we need to learn from. Things that I need to learn from. We can all learn from this. Let's get after it, traders. I wish you guys the best on today. It's not easy. We're getting a little bit of a mixed noise. If you bet to the upside on the first action, you're probably doing pretty decent. So probably could take some first profits. There's a fake out to the downside. It goes to 472.50s and it's right back to 473s. So that's where I got to be careful, guys. That's where things can stop me out. And so just got to be careful there on that up and down action. We need to determine a level now where the market goes, right? And so keeping a close eye on it. The SPY also pulled back, but held that pullback. It's finding some buyers on the pullback. That's for sure. Qs overall now back 473s, really close to recovering that. So I'm going to keep a close eye on it. You can see how you made a quick move on the 1 minute down, and now you're looking to maybe recover that 9 EMA at the 473. It recovers 473s, is back to 474s. These are both losses. So that's just how it goes, guys. And then we'll see what happens here now. How's my Boeing swing trade looking like, guys? That's probably bouncing a little bit. I haven't taken a peek at it, so I need to go looking. Oh, it went down to 155. That was a good level out down there. We'll see what happens in Boeing. See if I'm able to go ahead and get a move back through that 154 today. Oof. Really looking for a move back towards like the 150s. We'll see what happens in Boeing. How's Deer looking like and Cat? Okay, they're hanging out there, guys. If we get an up move, those are interesting outlooks for swing trades. Do want to take an outlook for swing trades now. If the Qs go higher here, what would I want to swing trade higher? So if I take losses on the day trade side, maybe I can go make some at least on the swing side to the upside, right? So like Tesla on this pullback, right? That could be an opportunity here off the 226. It's recovering 227s, right? So if I want to give myself a potential move for the upside outlook, this is one of those that I could look at. So let's go ahead. Let's take a swing on Tesla to the upside. I talked about 225s, 224s, levels to take trades off of. Let's see what happens here. Could bet like maybe about $100. That's not the worst outlook here. But we all know how Tesla's been as of late. It's been very, very hard read. I'm watching the Qs make a down move here, so I'm not going to make the trade just yet. If I see the swing back on the Qs, I will be looking at this. Let's go back to the day trade side of things. All right, still in the two trades here. PDD, still in the Vixie. PDD just went down back towards the 94.19s. So that's getting to the point where I'm like, well, you gotta make your move now, PDD. If not, it's not going to break down. So at this point, I can tighten up the stop loss. $94.18s looking good there, guys. I'm going to tighten it down towards 94.46. In a second here, if it breaks 94s, I can start bringing it back down towards like 94.40s and only risk $100 on it. I'm going to the Vixie to determine if I want to add another 1,000 shares if I can see this continued breakdown. 472.50 shows up on the SPY there. I need to look at NVIDIA to see how quick the down action's coming in NVIDIA, but the SPY has an opportunity to bounce here, and so did the Qs. I'm looking for continued downside in the Qs through 472s as a good indicator to continue to add on the Vixie, and that could get me up to 3,000 shares, which is we're going to new levels here, guys. So do me the favor, smash the like. Take a second after you're trading to definitely hit the like button and enjoy what you're seeing here. Who else is giving you guys the access into the positions, into the filled orders? There's really probably no one out there on YouTube right now. If you guys can find some traders that show all this, please let me know. But I can tell you right now, I know at least 3 of the major day trade shows out there, and none of them are doing this. NVIDIA pulls back and the Qs take a second. So looking at PDD to see if it can finally wash through that 94s. It's a big level right now. The Qs are just hanging out, looking for that expansion move where it really makes a big bar down here. 472.10s, that's my move to go for it, guys. So I'm taking the shot, guys. I just added to the Vixie now 3,000 shares there, guys, on the Vixie. I took my shot there. PDD goes into the green here, now up about 18, looking for the breakdown through the 94s to lower the stop loss here and take a shot. 472s on the Qs show up there. 472s break on the Qs. Now feeling confident on that PDD. Now let's see if it takes a nice little move here. Even the Vixie is going to be looking good there, guys. 1227s. I only need about like 20 cents on the Vixie to make $600. So let's see what happens today, guys. Maybe I can make a $900 trade. I talked about it, right? Now I got to take the trade and establish the risk and return. This could be bigger on the risk side, right? I'm expanding, scaling up. Be careful out there, traders. Let's see what happens now. Looking for the big breakdown on PDD now. There's 9407s, 9406. Looking good there for the PDD to make that move, make that attempt down. We're going to move back down towards, let's say, 93s is where I want to take some profits. This could go down to 91, really on a long decline. So we'll look to see the first action start to make a nice move here. Big level to watch. 93s on 94s on PDD. It's right at the 94 spot there. Let's see if it breaks down and gives me a nice little break there. Vixie going into the green there. Now I'm up at from 1224s to 1228, almost to the 34 spot, which will be the first profit take a level. And then I can look to see if this really breaks out, guys. We'll see what happens out there. Let's go. Let's go. Susie Q, break down. Keep it going. Can somebody flush it out there? SPY went down to 561 there. NVIDIA, right? It's still hanging out at the 117. So NVIDIA is still not below VWAP. So if you're thinking about taking a trade out there that could stay, that's one that I'd be looking at. Apple, what will happen there? Will we get a decline through the trend line? Look at the trend line right here. It's right near it. So this is a big level to watch for. You could still bounce an Apple right back up here off of the trend line, or you could take it back towards the VWAP, and then you're starting to flush down. So just keeping an eye out there. The Vixie starting to go like it wants to make a big breakout. I can cut it at 222s if I need to. Just maybe risk 2 cents here, looking for the big rip, right? So stayed in it enough to give me the potential trade. Let's see if we get it. Same thing for PDD. At this point, I'm staying in there, looking for the trade there. But if it starts to climb back, I can always just cut it out. NVIDIA back down, and that's giving me a little bit of a sign to hold on here. Hold on. but let's find out here. Definitely getting the test now down because Vixie's coming back to me, right? So it's all about the Qs breaking down here. Are we going to get this continued breakdown? You got the bets that you can take. Now the question is, what happens, right? So Tesla right back above the 227s there. So, hey, I got the trade that I can put against my trades right now, and that's in the swing department. So I'm going to go take that swing department trade just in case this goes big to the upside here. Here's a pullback towards 227s. All right, guys, just took some there at 227.15 on Tesla. Why? I'm trying to give myself an ability here to make some money on the swing, just in case we get a quick up move in the Qs. So I'm expecting this to eventually be a stop out. Paying $70 for a little bit of a hedge if the stock market just wants to come back against me. So there you guys see it. Long on Tesla, still short Boeing, up 300 on that. But I'll put $60, $70 there to see what happens. Q's making that down move. That's going to be looking good for my moves out there. Let's go. Let's go. Day trading action. PDD still hasn't broken that 94. That's a little bit concerning. We should already be deep green in that. Still looking for the cut down through the 94 so I can put the break even stop out there. Vixie. Let's go, Vixie. Make a nice move today, Vixie. Next spot from here, 1250s, where we could get the run to. So above this 1230s, I see we can get the run towards 1250s. That would mean close to 25 cents on this. I will take that and run, guys. If I can get this to 1250s, that's about $800 win. I'll take that and run. Here's 1232s, guys, up 225s. I could get back to break even essentially if I cut out all the trades right now. But I'm not going to do that. I'm looking for the win here. I'm going to take the shot. This is where, you know, as you size up, it's hard, right? Mitch might need another cat named Vixie. Yes, I like that idea, Wisdom. I don't know if the wife is going to like that idea as much, but hey, Vixie, you know what? Hendrix, you got a new nickname. Let's see what happens here, guys. PDD trying to break down through the 94s, but still hasn't done it here. Q's slowing up a little bit there. Got up towards the 200, looking for the pop here, looking for the breakdown. SPY just hanging out there at the 560s. Q's slowing down at the 471. But if it takes out that low, oh, we're looking good. Let's go. 471.15s, 471.09s. NVIDIA, what's going to happen here? Tell me, NVIDIA. Apple's still holding on here, guys. PDD just hanging out at that 94s. It still hasn't broken down. That still hasn't given me the gains there. Vixie, no. 1232s. Woo! It's hard to hold the Vixie, guys. I'll tell you that. It's hard to hold up this amount. As you get bigger and bigger, it's going to be hard to hold the gains. But you got to stay objective, right? And stay focused on what you know works and where you're looking to take profits, right? So as I get bigger and bigger, you can take partials. So like here, I could take like maybe as it gets to 300, I could take half of it off and give myself the potential. But the truth is, what I'm looking for is that kind of 20 cents on the full size, take it and run. Even if it's 18 cents, take it and run, right? PDD in the green, but doesn't want to break down, guys. That's getting me a little bit concerning, but I'm just hanging into it because it's still on the decline here. But man, oh man, I'm feeling a little bit like, come on, PDD, come on. What are you going to do to me? You're going to give me the gain or what? $94.02s, 90s. Q's just tanked, guys. Q's just tanked. Oh, let's go. Let's go. Someone sound the alarm. Oh, PDD. All right, I can't lose on PDD now, guys. I got to set a tighter stop on this. Setting a stop at like $64 just because, man, I'm looking for this to break down. But if it doesn't go here. And I'm up like 40 bucks, but the Vixie's just pushing strong. So that's what I need to focus on, that Vixie trade. Look at the move there in the Qs. We just broke to the 470s. So now really looking for that move here in the Vixie. We're going to go into the 40s here pretty soon here, and I'll have $600 available to me. So at that point, it's going to be hard to hold here. Let's see what happens, guys. I got 390s right now, 400 available to me. Try my best to not get too greedy here. I'm putting it up by 50s right now, but just watching it here in the 30s. The only thing that can happen here is the Qs come all the way back against me here. So that's another thing to keep in mind, right? Got to always keep that in mind here. And that's why I set the stop there in PDD. This one's a hard one, guys. A little part of me is like, do we go for the bigger swing? And that's what we've been going for, right? Because I'm trying to size up. But part of me is like, just run money, take the money and run. Get back into the green for the week. Kind of got a battle right here. I kind of have to battle. So let's see what happens. Tesla stopped me out on that swing, that's for sure. Nvidia, will you bounce? And I'm still being careful for an Nvidia bounce. Apple, you back at VWAP? You cut through the line on Apple, but you're not even at VWAP yet. SPY down to 560 50s. We'll see what happens here. Vixie did make a starter move. First resistance touch right here, the 38s. We got towards the 38s, just didn't break to the 40s into the 50 run. So that's what I'm looking for now, run into the 50s. Then from there, we could decline, right? 1276, 13 after that. But I'm not looking for 13 on this run. I'm just looking for 1250s. PDD back into the red there. For some reason, PDD doesn't want to go, guys. There is like a bigger trader here into this thing, and it's going to probably stop me out at the 30s there as it starts to come back. I'll tell you one thing. I don't want to get caught in PDD on the losing side of things right now. So it might cut me out here for 64. I just can't hang out in it anymore, guys. It should have already broken down through that 94s, and there's a bigger trader in here that's keeping it up. Q's coming back. It's going to definitely test me. We'll see what happens on PDD. Still leaving $76 in the risk side. And I tell you the truth, guys, on this like kind of PDD, I feel like I'm pushing it. But the only thing that's keeping me in there is that there's $3 reward on the downside. That's the only thing. If not, like the price action's telling me be careful. Vixie still looking good here. Just got to continue to hold on for right now. Let's go take a look at the MACD. It did bounce, held there, pull back to the 227, still holding in and looking good. Just got to battle here, guys. Got to battle and ride this out, guys. Come on, PDD. Show me something. Seeing the Qs reject there. Looking to see what's the next move here. Do we get another breakdown towards the 469 here? Daily levels on the Qs had a pullback level to the 90 MA, 467s. So that's kind of like the top outlook for me on downside. So that's going to be still ways away from here, right? You're talking down to this level. We'll look to see what happens. Sideways action right now. Got to be careful out there, guys. Both ways, right? Apple's still in the red from the open, but still holding. PDD, what are you going to do? How's Baba? Baba went red, but PDD never had this action. Never that part. That's where it gets a little bit concerning. It had the ability to cut through that 94. There's some buying on that 94 today, and that's where it scares me because now 1, 2, 3, 4 times to go through that level, and you can't go through it. That's a scary sign. Mixed noise out there, guys. Be careful out there in this market. There's definitely some mixed noise. PDD trying to ramp up again. Wouldn't you know it, guys? Tesla came back and got me on the swing trade, and it's right back to the 227s. Tesla's such a son of a gun. Such a dragon to deal with, man. You got to go so small on that thing to try to get around the volatility. If you're like 100, 200 shares deep, how do you get around that, right? Like the risk to return starts not making sense, and it's very hard to keep going after that. Q's coming back now. SPY coming back. That's where it gets dangerous, right? I was deep into the green. Now I'm looking for a little bit more. Am I pushing it too much on the day like today? And I think that those are the type of things that we need to be thinking about, right? So I was still trying to get what? Like not the 10 cents. I was trying to get 20 cents on the Vixie, and I've gotten it plenty of times before. So I'm not stressing too much about that. But at the same time, there was ability there to make the good money because I was so big, 3,000 shares long. I haven't been 3,000 shares long on any position on this eval. So just things to think about, right? All right, what's up out there, guys? Damn, markets are choppy these days. Yeah, it's the volatility, right? I mean, that's just what happens. It's that that uncertainty that comes into play. Nvidia back towards 117. What will happen to that Nvidia? Keep an eye on it, guys. Apple now declining there, and I'm looking at Apple as a good sign here, but PDD, come on, come on. PDD, what are you going to do? What's up out there, traders? I got to take a second from the price action, guys. This is driving me mad. I'm just like, you just go through the levels here, guys. Just go through them. See if we can get some downside continuation. PDD, man. Look at this, guys. It just doesn't want to go. 94.08. Come on. Break that 94. You can do it, PDD. It's in a bearish pattern, but just doesn't want to break. Look at the 15-minute chart here, guys. 15 minutes looks very bearish. It just needs to go. 94.03s, 94.02s. Won't you do it for me, PDD? Why don't you? I'm on the dark side today, guys. All right, up $50 here, guys. Looking to see that finally break the 94s, man. If it can't break it here, it'll probably never do it. That's the way I feel like it. Watching the 5-minute here. It approached its, like it has the level there. Just doesn't want to give it to it. Sometimes when it doesn't want to go, you might need to go. So Q's on the slowdown here, guys, and definitely the market overall just on a pause button at 10:30. And a lot of times what happens at 10:30, right? The retail traders head to the door. And so on that pullback, you washed out a lot of bulls traders. That's where it gets concerning for me because I know that, right? You wash those bulls. The bears are still looking for money. And now they can stuff it to the bears also. So I'm keeping that in the back of my mind. The psychology is telling me be careful out there right now. So both sides of the trades available here. And still, you still have the available trades off the VWAPs, the longs on some of these tech names, right? So honestly, even though I'm short, I'm not feeling too confident about either side right now. It's choppy trading, and you got to be careful when you're in the choppy trading. It might be prudent for me to go faster to the gains here and just taking what it was available to me there. At some point, I could have taken 300 on the Vixie and just ended the day up $40, but that's not going to do it for me anymore. And that's not going to get me towards the evaluation target, right? So I'm trying to adjust my trading into being okay with being just up $100 and not running to the money, right? Things like that are all things that you need to kind of work on, team. And you guys get to see me work on it live. So that's the other thing too, right? I mean, the pressures of doing this while live is also going to be higher, right? As you scale up and you scale up live, I'm definitely going to feel the pressure because there is pressure. And you guys know how I trade. I focus on it. And I want to go ahead and, of course, always end the green, but that's never a guarantee. All right. Come on, PDD. Give me a nice down move here, because if I could get a nice down move in PDD, take some good gains off the day, I can take a big swing into Vixie. That's the biggest thing, too. So let's say if I already took in, like, say, $200 on PDD, I don't mind taking a shot on the Vixie, right? And so those are all things that I'm thinking about. Q's coming down here. Vixie back to the top end of the trade here. Now I need to just take a look to see if it goes, right? And being patient is what's going to pay for me here. And so that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to be patient. Mondays have usually been the best day for me, so I got to keep battling here. This line is getting tighter and tighter, guys. So really shouldn't get back above 94.20s now on PDD. What does that do? That tightens my stop, right? And so if I want to, I can tighten out on this. All right, guys, getting me to that point where I'm about to just set a really tight stop in PDD and get out. Because PDD just doesn't want to go, guys. It's giving me the ability to take the trade plenty of times. And I get to this point where back above like the 94.25s and you get a trend line reversal. So definitely don't want to wait around till I get a trend line reversal and get squeezed in PDD. So at this point, just got to set the stop and then let it go. If it comes and hunts me and hits that stop, so be it sometimes, right? So either you put it break even and then right here I lose nothing and I don't do any risk. I'm going to do $32 of risk here as it comes back to the low end of the range, and I'm looking for that last wick to be that wick where it can't get back above. So at this point, back above this 22s really should be out. I have it at 26. Right above it here. The stop's already placed. And I'll show you it, guys. I'm always as transparent as can be for you guys. And there isn't anybody that's going to be showing you guys the charts and really seeing you guys look at the setup there. So the setup's set, right? At this point, that's the setup. And look at the potential target profit, right? So I'm not even looking anymore for 91s. I would love down to 93. That's around 470 on the plus side, right? So at this point, I can put it out there. I can just drop it. I don't like to show my hand too much, so sometimes I'll just cancel it. Like right now, it's at that 94. Vixie's up big, right? So on that, I just need to go ahead and put out a target profit, which is going to be towards max. I can push it towards the 1250. I'm going to push it towards the 1248. That's 720 on the plus side. If I get that, I'll take it off and I'll run. Right now, I leave it up a little bit higher than that because I want to give myself the potential of it just crazy spikes then I'm up there. But right now I'm at the 1254s and looking to go ahead and take a shot on that. But I'm going to cancel it right now, looking for it to get into the 40s, and then I'll take the profits. It was at 94s right there. It got the chance to break down again. PDD is not wanting to break down there, guys. So with that being said, leaving that stop there, it can hit me right here on this little spike. Then it can break down 94s. So be it. But at this point, if it spikes through that, it could easily be at 94.60s again. And I'm not going to give up $100 on a trade where I had the potential to make it 1, 2, 3, 4 times through a key level, and it just doesn't want to go. Let's go back to the Vixie and just pay attention to the trade that can make or break the kind of the profit target today. All right, back down towards the 1231s there. Was right now towards the breakout at the 1234s. The Q's coming back as it was about to break the 470 mark, and now we're back towards 471.50s. And what does that mean? Be careful with those tech names, because that's really what's going on here. It's a tech battle. It is a tech battle, right? And so right now I'm at the point where I could take the $300 and run. I'm just looking for 10 more cents on the Vixie. That's it. That's all I need to take the money. PDD, there's the out there, guys. Back towards 94.33s. Just couldn't get the breakdown today. Added to the trade there, and I was at the 94.30s here earlier. But it was just too much, guys. And look at the PDD coming back on me. So that just shows me that, yeah, it just didn't want to go. So now we just got to keep a very close eye on the Qs. If the Qs start spiking back, Vixie trade's going to actually cancel out. So I give myself the potential for the trade today. And if for some reason all I lose is that PDD in the open market today and that DRMA, hey, so be it. So got to go ahead and just kind of set up myself here to come back, make a nice $600, $700 gain. And then what would I be? I'd be up 300 on the day versus down. So that's all you can do it. Just set the trade up, get yourself into that position of strength, which I feel like it right now, and now can let the trade work. We'll see what the determinant factor is, right? What happens in the results a lot of the times is how we go about things, right? So I took the shot there, also protected myself on PDD to not take a bigger loss, to give myself the potential to come back into the green on the day. All right, there's 1237s. Let's see if we can finally break towards the 1240s and the Qs, make another low. And PDD went all the way back to 94.40. So it could eventually just break down big later. But the truth is, at this point, I don't want in on the day trade side. And on the swing trade side, I could still do it. If the Qs just break down big, I could come back at PDD for a swing. But I'm just going to focus on the Vixie right now. Into the 42s, I'll be up 500. So it's somewhere in that 500, this above towards 700. That's where I want to take the money and run, guys. So into the 40s, somewhere in there, I don't mind taking the money and run. And then another thing that I can do is just leave a little runner. So if anything, if I get a quick pop, I can always just take majority of it off, let's say 80% of the position, and leave the tiniest bit to run to see if it makes me another $100. That's okay too. Maybe even taking 2,900 shares off. I have 3,000, and keeping that last 100 shares to see if the Vixie just takes off and the market just dumps, right? These are the times that you have the decision-making times, right? Where a lot of times you want to take the money and run, right? Like, I'm sure you guys are probably even yelling at me in the screen right now. Mitch, take that 300 and run. It's available to me, but I'm looking for the pop above towards the 1240s and 1250s. That's really what I was establishing on the objectiveness without knowing the size. Like if I was in at 100 shares, that's the way I'd be looking at things, right? So we'll see if we get it. Q's coming back, guys, and that's not looking good there. If it starts to come back, we might have to just take the money and run, but it's all going to be on NVIDIA right now. You did do that move down to 116 and you bounced on NVIDIA. Not what we wanted to see, at least on the NVIDIA side. Just keeping a look at that. You can see Apple's below VWAP, but NVIDIA's back above VWAP. So keeping a close eye on NVIDIA here to see what happens. Back up through that 117, and I got to be a little bit careful here. Tesla's just hanging out there too. So hanging out above VWAPs, those are the ones you want to be looking if you're looking for upside potential, right? So not the ones below VWAPs, but the ones hanging out above VWAP. Oracle is one of those, right? Above VWAP, hanging out. We'll see what happens here, guys. QQQs, come on. Come on. What do you want to do for me, Qs? We're going to decline through that 470, or are we going to start making our way back here? And that's where I got to be careful. That's where I might just need to run to the gains. And the truth is, I need to take the gains at a 10-cent profit. So I can't even take the gains here, right? 255, if I take them off, it's not a legit trade. It needs to be a 10-cent trade. So I know that a lot of people complain about that, but I'm not complaining about that. I'm looking for the gains here. And the Vixie is a really tight spread. So that's why I also go after the Vixie. Come on, one leg lower, guys. One leg lower. If we can get that one leg lower, we're going to wrap it up here, guys. It's 10:55. I want to take the profits with you guys here. So I'm going to stick around for another 5 minutes. But you guys do me the favor. You guys appreciate me showing you guys this. I appreciate the breakdowns in the market. Hit the like button right now. If you're watching on Twitter, just take a second. Back out of the stream or the things you're looking at. Click out. Just hit the like button. I don't even need you to repost this. The like button shows everybody at Trade the Pool that you guys appreciate me here doing the stream, right? You guys want to keep me on? That's one way that you guys keep me going and staying right here on Trade the Pool. Come on, Susie Q. Susie Q. All right, going to look to see if we attempt this breakdown here towards this line. And this is the line for the continuation to the downside. So looking to see if we bounce off of that line when we start to come down. Do we break that or do we go ahead and bounce there? So that's the way I see it right now, guys. And if we go through that level, I'll also look to see if the MACD crosses back down, right? So you got to cross right here. Look for the cross to come back down through as a sign of weakness. Let's see. The market is slowing down here. We'll see what else is out there. NVIDIA hanging out there. Let's go, Qs. Let's go, Susie Q. I just think about it as if I didn't take the drama trade, this would be a nice starter of the day, right? And that's what it's all about, guys, is trying to set up the potential reward. We'll see if we get it today, guys. Like, you never know what you're going to get, but that's all you can do. Set up potential rewards. The biggest thing is trying to keep yourself in the game, right? Today, I pushed it way too much on that drama trade. That should have been about like a $70 loss, because then that gives me the potential to run to the 300 and still have a decent green day, right? I'm just looking to push the green right now as I keep trying to get to that next level in my trading, right? So getting the gains up towards, let's say, instead of 600 like last week, towards 900 potentially, right? We don't always have to take that, but if I can start making $900 or $2,000 trades like Wisdom said, yeah, that's going to get me closer to the reward side, right? So it's harder to take those types of trades, but you can also take split profits throughout that, right? That's another thing is, let's say if I get towards like $500 or $600 up, I can take half of it off, put myself break even, and then let the rest work and try to see if it gets me another 500 or something like that, right? PDD, I hate you. PDD just hanging out here at the VWAP, and I'm glad I got out though. Qs, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do here? There's the downside coming. Let's see it. Vixie, get a nice little breakout into the 40s for me. I won't be mad at you. All right, looking for that breakout towards the 40s here. Here's the Qs coming for it. Come on. To the 48s we go. Let's make a nice little $700 trade. Let's go. All right, there we go. 1240s. Q's approaching the breakdown here. Now we're getting a little bit of a skipping type of move here in the Vixie. In a second, I'm going to drop it right here at the 12. There you go. 1250. Just dropped it there, guys. Now let's see if we can get the move here and take the money and run. 1242s looking good here, guys. As we get towards the 1242s, looking at that up 525s, the hands start to get clammy. That's how you know I'm big size. I always be transparent to you guys. This, like the clammy hand thing, talk to other traders about it. They'll tell you all about that action here. And there it is to the 43. So what I do is I put it up here towards like 56. I get it away from myself. And I'm really not taking 56. Like if it comes up there, I won't be mad, right? But trying to give it the room to get into the 46, 47, and then I'm going to pull it to the 48 as soon as I see 46, 47 there on the offer. So 46 here. Let's see if I get 47. As soon as I see 47, I'm going to put it to the 48. $44 is just hanging out there, not getting that move into there. I'm looking at the Qs and need to break the low. That's the move where I get the next push into the 48s. 44s. Come on, Qs. NVIDIA trying to come back a little bit. That's what I'm a little bit concerned. I'm just keeping a really close eye on NVIDIA right now. $44 is available here. Canceling down the target profit just to take some off the tape. Second, I want to drop it right here at the 48s. I'm coming. I'm coming. They're calling for me, guys. I got a meeting. I got to get out of here, guys. I'm going to set it up here for that push towards the 1250s. I'm going to set the stop loss towards 34s. So at the minimum, guess what, guys? We'll be in the green, $3. So setting it up here, you guys, now I got a ladder there, 70, 80 on the top end, 300 on the downside. So at the minimum, I take 300. On the top end, I take 780s. I got to get out of here. I got to go to a meeting. I hope you guys have a great one. I've enjoyed the action here. Just tell me that you guys enjoyed it by hitting that like button, hitting the subscribe below, and the comments. What do you want to see more of here? Do you guys want me to take bigger swings? Is it bigger sizing? Let me know what you guys want to see. I'm always here for you guys, and I'll be back tomorrow morning at 8:30. Don't go anywhere, traders. There's always more for you guys. And don't forget, you always got the Discord where traders are trading throughout the whole trading day. See you guys back in the morning.